Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Touring Car Sim Racing League. I am your host, running a bit behind schedule from the commentary box because obviously we are a live show. And as always, because we are a live show, sometimes things happen and they get in the way. But we are up and running. There are 27 drivers driving tonight, so it's going to be absolutely sensational in terms of the amount of drivers that we've got in. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be fast. There's going to be bumps and bruises. And the championship is all to play for. So that's going to be exciting. Some of the drivers have the LEBU, which is the late driver ballast something. I can't remember. It's called LEB, actually. Basically, they're carrying it because they are fast, and if they are unrestricted, they would then gain an advantage. So that's what they are doing. I'm your commentator. That's me, Andy Pawley. I've still got the same amount of hair as I did now. Right. While we have a few minutes remaining, let's get over to the championship. So, this is the overall Drivers' Standard Championship that we have at the moment. Shores Usa is currently leading once again on 63 and will have 70 kilograms on board. The points seem to have not updated. Isn't that nice? Stu Neal is second, and he's moved ahead of Nenad. Nenad's down in third on 50 and will have 56 kilograms. Jean Petra is in fourth. Butcher's now down to 50. Was third, but he's now in fifth. Van Skeppen is sixth. T-Joke is seventh. Simon Trebek, he is eighth. Boki is ninth. Nick Papadim is in 10th. Nicky is in 11th. Poddy Flack is now down to 12th. Opelix in 13th. Prieto is in 14th. Boki is, I think it's Boki, is that Bojan? No, that's Bojan. Bojan's in 15th. Alves is in 16th. Gilly is in 17th. Ashbourne's 18th. Deeks is 19th. Ralitas is in 20th. Rob South, 21st. JC Camo is 22nd. And Martin Kirby is 23rd. There is a driver right at the bottom. It is actually Rob South, but it seems to have gone completely wrong. Like I said, we are a live show. These are some of the technical difficulties that we do face. But we are slowly up and running. Right. Let's get over to the Pro-Am series. So, if you are new to the Touring Car Sim Racing League, we run three different we do the main Drivers' Championship, and then all drivers are separated into Pro, Pro-Am, and Am, based on their outright speed. There's all the lovely mugshots that we have. Thankfully, there was only one driver missing, which was JC. He sent it to me today. I just did not get an opportunity to update him into third. So, in the Pro Series, Shores Usa is leading by 99 points, and Nenad is actually second overall. He's in 84. Stu Neal is 1 point behind on 83. Jean Petra's fourth. T-Joke is fifth. Butcher's down to sixth. He was third. Trebek is seventh. Poddy Flack is eighth. Prieto moves up to ninth. And Bojan is in 10th. In the Pro-Am Series, Van Skeppen is leading on 112. Nicky is up to second on 81. There he is in second. I'm pretty sure that's his missus on his picture, on his jumper. I'm not sure if she told him to put it on there, but I think she did. In third is Boki. Fourth is Alves. Papadim is fifth. Papadim, race winner, don't forget, last time out, in fifth. That moved him up to 59 and 5th in the Championships. Opelic, last season's winner in the Pro-Am, in what was technically the Am series. He's in 6th. Manuel is in 7th. Ashbourne's 8th. Deeks is 9th. In the Am series, Ralitas is first. There he is. If you've followed him on the Discord, he did apologise to Carl Smith, who's second, for his big beard. Getting in the way of Carl Smith. But there is Carl Smith. He is in second. JC, he's in third. Deeks is up to fourth, only a point behind. It's all to play for here. Martin Kirby is fifth. Rob South is sixth. Andrea is in seventh. Great run from Andrea last time out. And Andy Foster is in eighth position. And that's how the Pro-Am, the Pro-Am and the Am Series Championship of the Tcsrl stacks up. Ballast is going to be important this time out, because a lot of the drivers are currently running with ballast as we end the practice session. So that's going to be important to see. The event info, if you're wondering, is the Hockenheim Grand Prix ring. So it's not Hockenheim. I put Hockenheim. I thought we were going out into the country. We aren't. It is just the Grand Prix ring. You will see me probably log out and log back in quite quickly between the sessions, because we have, unfortunately, when they hit formation, I have been losing the start of the grid. So as soon as we hit the formation, I will be logging in and logging out to try and get the start of that. There's the event info. Right, we're going to go on auto direct. Tyre choice, if you're wondering, is always the hard compound. That never ever changes. It is what it is. T-Joke was fastest in the qualifying session last time out. Qualifying session is 15 minutes and determines the positions for race 1. Race 2 is the starting grid is determined by the finishing positions of race 1. And race 3 is a reverse grid based on my wheel. There's 27 drivers in the qualifying session, so it means that there will be a reverse grid from P18. So it is all to play for. We do a split grid for race 3, and it's all based on the size of the field. Larger the field, larger the opportunities. That looks like one of the Lincoln codes has gone off in the background. They're all warming up their tyres now. They're all trying to get ready. They're all going to have to try and find space. This is Bojan. Currently at the moment, they have changed some of the camera views here, so they do actually look a lot better than they were. They're a bit further out. I like that. They've sorted it out. The board is clean on at the moment. No driver has set a time. There's Nicky. He's actually the current driver at the front of the grid at the moment. Car position number 9. That's coming up as 9 because technically he was 9th in the last qualifying session. In the practice session, so he's just classed as number 9. Even though he is in number 9, he's technically 9th. That's how it stacks up. So he's going to be coming around now to the penultimate corner, and then he's going to have to get it going. We don't know the fuels on board the cars. They are default setups. Ballast is also applied. Nicky doesn't actually currently have ballast at the moment, so that's going to be important to him. Very, very fast. Right, let's see what he can do. Can he put this on the grid? We're going to keep an eye on the field. Through the right-hander he goes. Needs to get a good exit down here along the start-finish straight. Riding on board with him now. The old circuit goes off to the left, but this is a hairpin to the right. Down the gearbox, 5th, 4th, 3rd, into 2nd. Hugs that corner nice and tightly. He will be purple in Sector 1 because he's the first driver in Sector 1. Bojan's just behind him, 24.175. Nobody's going faster. Shaw's is going faster. Shaw's has just done a faster at a 1:24.124. Everybody else, 27 top ends. Nicky at the moment is absolutely on for it. I'm not sure I like this camera view, but it is what it is. As they all stove into the hairpin. At the moment, we're going to put it on auto direct to see who will go fastest. Nicky is second fastest in Sector 1 at the moment, but we haven't had Van Skep and Jean Petra hasn't gone through there. I don't think anybody else. Where's Ninad? Ninad hasn't gone through that sector yet. So there's still a lot of unknowns here in terms of that raw pace. We do not know what amount of fuel is on board the cars. Like I said, they are default setups. That's Bojan in the 79. He's run wide. That lap will be out, I think. He's not going to be able to go anywhere from that. No, lap is disallowed for Bojan. 24.174, 1:14.927. Sector 2 times. Nicky is nearly a second faster in Sector 2. Shaw's is coming up as second fastest on the board. There is Shaw's 4th car back at the moment. We're sticking with Nicky. Nikita, sorry Nicky, I got your name wrong. Can he do this? This should be provisional pole position. Do I think it's going to be fast enough? I don't think so. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Fastest at the moment. Shaw's goes faster. Sector 3 time. Wow. It's the Sector 3 time. Absolutely on it. Stu Neal carrying a 63 kilo on board that car. Sorry, carrying the 56 kilo board on that car. Poddy Flack fastest in Sector 2. Crosses the line, goes fastest. A 1:48.281. Is that the fastest lap? Not by a mile. Bojan is absolutely flying. We're going to stick with Bojan at the moment. Craig Deeks has randomly gone faster in Sector 2. Lap disallowed. Boki is also going faster as well. Boki and the Bojan, absolutely both of them absolutely piling through the corners here. We'll keep it on auto direct. There is Poddy Flack. He's in Sector 1. He's done a 23.9. He's the only driver in the 23.9s. He is coming up there. That is T-Joke. He's the first Peugeot at the top. The second Peugeot, this one, the number 70. That is the man, Poddy Flack. What can he do in Sector 2 time? He needs a good sector here. His best is a 50.692. It's not the fastest in that sector. Everybody else is improving now, but they are not going as fast as Poddy. He needs a good Sector 2 time here. He has to tick this box. This is where he's traditionally hurt himself within those Sector 2 times. 27 drivers in at the minute. We're watching Poddy Flack. 4 drivers fastest in Sector 1. The only man fastest in Sector 1. The fastest driver in Sector 1 is this man at the moment. Jean Petra's done a 24.006, fastest man in Sector 2. We're keeping an eye on Poddy Flack because he's currently fastest Sector 1, fastest Sector 2. Bojan just goes fastest, but Poddy Flack is scheduled to beat him on a 1:48.9. That's what the Delta's coming up at. Can he cross the line? Can he push this in to the 1:48.9s? Crosses the line. 1:48.8. He goes fastest by 1/10 of a second. That's the number 5 there of Manuel Alves. He's improving 2.3 seconds off the current lead. Less than 8.5 minutes to go. They're going to have to get themselves a banker lap in. There's 27 drivers at the moment, only 20 on the board. Butcher goes 10th fastest. So he hasn't really stretched his legs yet. Manuel Alves, if he can keep this up, will go middle of the pack. Oshbon goes 15th. 9th for Alves. 9th for Alves. Good result for him. He will be happy with that. Andy Foster's going a bit faster. Jean Petra's currently in 4th. Poddy is actually in the pits. He's 0.2 faster than Nick Papadim. Nick Papadim, don't forget, was a race winner. 3rd time out. Papadim's biggest issue is consistency. It's always consistency with Papadim. Jean Petra goes 2nd, so he's put it in. And Andy Foster got himself up to 17th. 22 drivers at the moment. We have Rob South, Gilly, Nenad. Nenad hasn't set a time. Nenad's on the track, though. What's Nenad doing? He's going for a Sunday road ride at the moment, so he's not really going fastest. But again, Nenad's carrying ballast. Shorts is carrying the maximum at 70 kilo. He's down in 5th position at the moment. He's going to struggle, I think, with that kilo, that weight on board to get anywhere above this. But he just needs to finish ahead of Nenad. Nenad and Stu Neal. Doesn't go fastest in that sector. This is Simon Trebek in the 27, in that little Seat Cupra. He's got to do something different now. Poddy Flack's just absolutely aced Sector 1 and Sector 2. Trebek, I don't think he's going to do anything here. He's got to keep this up. He might improve top 3. Scheduled for top 3, top 4. Crosses the line, goes 5th. Not very impressive in that last sector. T-Joke in the other Peugeot, currently unballasted. He should be 90. He was fastest in practice. Butcher gets himself into 7th, so he's improved. T-Joke is 400ths of a second off provisional pole position through that first sector. But again, he's not in the 23s. Poddy's the only one in the 23s. Poddy's biggest problem is himself. He tends to make those silly mistakes creep in. Poddy then seems to go downhill. So if Poddy is to do this, he's got to be clear. He's got to get his head in the right place. Nicky, early pace setter, is down in 8th. Bojan's up to 4th. Bojan, don't forget, last time out was on pole position, didn't start the race because of his interwebs. So he's locked out. T-Joke is not going to go in. He's going to go top 3. top 6th. It's that final sector. Poddy's just absolutely cremated the final sector. He's faster than everybody in every single sector at the moment. Nenad is doing what he can. 0.5 of a second. He should get himself. Nenad's out of position now, so he should be in or around Shaw's. You, Sir George, has just joined. So it's 28 cards, 28 on the field at the moment, and that will still be 16. That will still be an 18 card reversal. Position 18. So it is important. There's a lot to play for here. It means race 3 is going to be exciting. Nenad should go top 7. Yeah, bang into 7 he goes. I don't think he's going to go any further than that. Poddy's back out. Nenad actually went fastest in Sector 3. Did a 34.2. 216. Poddy did a 34.227. Nenad's still in 7th. Rob South is in 18th. Don't forget, he's in the AM series, so he's got a lot to play for here. He's currently towards the back. He does have a championship point in the driver's standing, so he's going to be very eager to try and extend that. What can Rob South do here? He's 2/10 up. Poddy Flack is yellow. He's yellow in first sector. I think he must have slowed down. Yeah, he slowed down. So he's going to get himself a yellow. There is Prieto. He is currently 9th in the Pro Series. He's mighty. He's mighty in this. It's the wrong car. I love that car, but even I know it's the wrong car. He gets himself into 18th at the moment. At the moment, there is a faster lap out there. There's a 148.78 is the theoretical now fastest lap, but I don't think he's going to do it. Rob South, if he can keep this up, will get himself top 17. No, he doesn't. Stays 9th. Stays 19th. A bit of a shame in that quarter, but that's how it is sometimes. Jean Petra's got himself into 2nd, just ahead of Papa Dim. Again, Poddy's yellow in that sector. And this is what I think he's trying to get himself some space. There's JC, 3rd in the AM series, don't forget. The only driver running the Lada at the moment. It's a good-looking car, that. It's a good-looking car. He's 3rd in that series, don't forget. So he's got a lot to play for here. Now, we're going to put on Auto Direct. I'm going to have a quick look over to Poddy's consistency. Yeah, his consistency's not good. So one of the features that we do have available is with 3 minutes 33 to go. I am keeping an eye on the board, see if anyone's doing anything a bit magic. Von Skeppen is going a bit faster. He's on 24.187 in that sector, so he's a bit faster. So Poddy Flack's consistency, and this is between his fastest lap and his lowest lap and his average laps, is 99.58%. So on average, he has a swing of around half a second, which is not good. That isn't good. His average lap is a 149.054. His fastest is the 148.826, which is the provisional pole position. Now, the 2 drivers behind him, Papa Dim and Jean Petra, at the moment, their lap consistency is in the 99.7s, both of them. And their 1 lap average pace is on par with Poddy. So Poddy's got to be really careful here that he doesn't do anything silly and sends it into the stove. Mike Bullen gets into 19th position, but he is carrying ballast on board. That ballast is designed to slow the cars down. Carl Smith, currently 2nd, don't forget, in the AM series. He is fighting George Relitas, who's currently in 28th, not set a time. And Matteo also hasn't set a time yet. So with 2 minutes 8 to go, unless you're on track, I don't think we're going to see anything special. Van Skeppen, he's currently 3/7 off. At that pace, he will improve. He'll be at 8th. Predicted lap is 8. Predicted position is coming up at 8th. Whether he actually is able to convert that, I don't know. So that's going to be important to see. He's going to have to really want to push this now if he wants to get himself across the line. He gets himself 5th. I mean, he's currently leading the Pro-Am series. I mean, to be honest, I think he should be in the Pro series, but each to their own. Bojan is fastest in Sector 2. Wow. He's not just fastest, he's fastest in Sector 2. So he had a 50.562. Jean-Petre has just set Sector 1 alight at 23.944. Fastest in that sector is Podiflak, 23.987. So as it stands, what can Bojan do? Goes fastest. Nails it. Absolutely nailed it on the last lap, and he's pretty sure he ran out of fuel. So he's got 900ths of a second in. It's all that final sector. Everything is down to that final sector. Everything is down to that final sector. I don't think Jean-Petre is going to be able to do anything. Jean-Petre is currently in third position. There's 30 seconds to go. Unless you run a lap, it's going to be game over. He's got to extend that. He's got to get further out. He crosses the line. Stays third. Stays third. Doesn't do anything special here. There's yellows in Sector 1, Sector 2 and Sector 3. T-Joke was fastest in the opening sector. Hasn't really done anything. He's just stayed as is, it looks like. So, yeah, I think he's going to... I think that is confirmation of the results, to be perfectly honest. I don't think we're going to get anything faster than that. So... it'll wait for the qualifying results to go over, but essentially Bojan from Podiflak, from Jean-Petre, Papadim, Everett, Trebek. T-Joke's still running around, but I don't think he's going to do anything from there. Nenad Shaw's Butcher, Alves, Nikita in 12th, Stu Neal's 13th. And so be it and so forth, all the way through. So, yeah, it's going to be a little tricky. I think it's going to be tricky. It's going to be a tricky race. So this is the formation lap, so we'll be okay on this one. It's when we get between races 2 and races 3. So that's going to be super tricky. And we will see how that sorts itself out. So they get a minute in the formation lap. That's basically where they have to log in and they have to immediately go yes, 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 yes. Between the races, once we get in there, I will actually log out and try and log back in because we've been missing the start of the races because of the formation lap. Realistically, we should be doing a warm-up first and then going into formation, and that kind of gets the car, kind of gets everything a bit more stable. Sometimes it can have its own little mare, but there we go. That's the way it is. Right, as soon as the last car is in, you will see the light at the top, and you will see the flashy, flashy, flashies. That means we will be ready to race. It is 15 minutes for race 1. I am your commentator. Here we go. Somebody has already jump-started. Derek Neal has jump-started even before the start of the race. Watch the lights at the top. Race 1, and it's lights out, and away we go. And, oh, absolutely stoves it at the start. Giorgio is coming up because he starts in the pit. But Podiflak into second, has to hold that off the lead. Jean-Petre is in second, is in third at the moment. Bojan is leading. He's done exactly what he needs to do. In the middle of the field, Nenad has gone down one place against T-Joke and the rest of it. They're all squabbling in the middle. Is there an accident? Do they all get through 2 by 2, 1 by 1? They're all absolutely holding each other up now as they come down, striving into that first corner. You can see there riding on the back here from T-Joke. There he is riding on board with T-Joke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nicky's going for a move. He's tucked up there behind Butcher, just ahead of Butcher. That's Nenad and Shaw's championship rivals. You can see Papadim has gone up the inside there of Jean-Petre. Jean-Petre down a place. Nick Papadim, race winner in race 3 last time out. Now there's an accident in the background. It's all starting to bundle itself up. Where is everybody else? They're all squabbling in the background. They're all trying to go around Alves. Alves has avoided everybody. Derek Neal track limits. In the background is 3 by 3, 2 by 2 as they hold on to themselves at the moment. But as they all squabble to try and sort themselves out, you can see here that Prieto is down 3 places already. There he is holding stations, but we leave that and we rejoin the battle near the front. I say it's near the front, it's in the middle of the pack somewhere. Trebek's run wide. Shaw's is on the left in the 53. Round the outside he goes. Nenad's come to join the party. He's saying, oh, I'm coming. I'm going to lick my chops as I go through here. But he shuts the door. Does not get through. There's T-Joke just ahead in the number 7. Little Peugeot. Behind that, you've got Craig Deeks, Nicky and Stu Neal. 2-time race winner, don't forget, last time out. Riding on board now with Stu Neal. The question is he going to try and sail this up the inside of Butcher? This is Butcher. He's in 10th. There is Stu Neal. He's in 11th, don't forget. Two-time race winner. Through the right-hander we go. And then it carries on down to the start-finish straight. There's Bojan currently leading. What can he do from here? Trebek's trying to look up the inside of Shaw's. Does he get that job done? No, he doesn't. This is a classic type of racetrack. It's not wide. Mistakes are extremely painful here. But Boki and Ashbourne are side by side. Boki's on the left, Ashbourne's on the right. Now he's on the left as we come into the hairpin. The question is he going to do anything? Trebek is going to go around the outside as well. So you can see there, John Petra has gone up the inside. Has he outbraked himself? No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. 1, 2, 3, 4 places he's lost. Stu Shaw's just holds on to the back there of Simon Trebek. Right. JC Cameo in the background. He's in 21st place, don't forget. He is attacking Prieto. And Prieto is in the 86. Whoa, cuts up off the inside there. Very brown trouser movement there from JC. Absolute commitment. Gets the job done. Holds the position. What can he do next? He's going to have to really fight for this. Down in that 20th position. He's up 4, don't forget. Started 24th, now in 20th. Absolutely steaming through the field. But he's got Prieto all over the back of him. Here's Prieto, and he's gaining and gaining and gaining. Can he get round into this long left-hand hairpin here? JC sees him coming, closes the door, but he's run wide, JC, and Prieto sees that, and he'll cruise. I didn't think of it. I thought he'd go up the inside, but JC just thought better of it. Prieto can't afford a bad run. Right, we leave that battle and rejoin the battle for the last of the podium positions. So Bojan is trying to undo what happened last week to him. So he's currently unballasted, so he's got to make this work. Van Skeppen, currently Pro-Am race championship leader. He's trying to go around the outside here of Jean Petra. Nenad is on the back of Trebek. Butcher's on the back of Nenad. Right on the back of Nenad. Carl Smith and Matteo are all fighting. Ooh, that was a very, very audacious move. Matteo's going to have a full wide impact. He's given up. Butcher's on the back here. Van Skeppen. So Papa Dim is going to defend. And Van Skeppen. What was Van Skeppen doing? He's absolutely. We're going to hit the buffer button and have a look at that post race. That's taken 1, 2, 3, 4 cars out as they've all squabbled. Where is Van Skeppen? Van Skeppen just. I think he just missed his braking point, tried to avoid everybody, and it's game over. So Van Skeppen, the big loser in all of that was Jean Petra. So Jean Petra now is down 10 places from that incident, but he's got a chance in race 3. He can make positions in race 2 as well. Butcher is on the outside of Nicky, not this one, not this one, not this one. Not the 34, but that one. He's gone up the inside. Nicky's given him a little bit of a niggle-wiggle. Let him know he's there, and he's got through. Job done. A little bit rough. Nothing in that, I don't think. I think that's perfectly acceptable. So it's game. I think it's game on now, to be perfectly honest. As we ride on now on Boki. So Boki is all over the roads. 3rd, don't forget, in the Pro-Am series. His nearest rival, Van Skeppen, is in 7th. You get the feeling there. We'll have a look post-race. There could be a penalty coming. Jean Petra currently down 10 positions. He's got to get this done. It's a tricky track to overtake at here. You've got to be committed, as Butcher absolutely puts it on 2 wheels. We're riding on now with Butcher. Now onto the back win here of Nicky. What can Nicky do? Can he defend? Jean Petra's just not going to go for it. Jean Petra just can't afford to sail this up the inside. He's got to get on a recovery drive now. Towards the front of the grid at 4th and 5th. T-Joke now riding on board from T-Joke's car. He's in 4th position, don't forget. Papa Dim ahead, Poddy, Fleck and Bojan, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. 1.3 seconds now separates those 3. So they're absolutely nose to tail. Shaw's just comes into your camera shot there. I think Jean Petra was going to go up this side of Nicky. He did. He's outbraked himself. Nicky's gone a bit wide. Nicky's going to keep his foot planted in this. He's got to do that. That was a bit of a... I've hit the... Whoops, wrong button. I've hit the buffer button. We'll have a look post-race. So that's very tricky from that section. I'm not sure what he can do from here. Through the left side. There is Jean Petra in the number 12. He gets that job done. It's a bit elbows out, but that's how it is sometimes. Jean-Petre, he's got to get gone if he wants to make this work. Right, Ninad, who's second in the championship, his nearest rival is in fifth. He's got to get this done. He's lighter on ballast. He is just as fast as Shores. At the moment, Bojan is on his own. He's up the inside here of Van Skeppen. Van Skeppen is doing a stellar job at defending. But Ninad, he's left the door open for Stu Neal in that number 55. Sorry, in the 95, the blue car. So Stu Neal, currently third in the championship. He wants that man ahead. He's 1 point behind in the Pro Series, don't forget. So he's got to get ahead. Oh, he nearly outbrakes him. Nearly goes full four into the back door there. That was going to be very tasty second-hand margaritas if he wasn't careful. Van Skeppen's gone defensive. Ninad's gone to the right. He's not going to go around there. Is Ninad going for the old switcheroo? He's tried to go around the outside. He's got to keep his foot in it. Stu Neal, ever the cunning little wily fox he is following Ninad through. But Van Skeppen will have less ballast on board that car. Does he get a better drive out the corner? Does he going to sell this up the inside? This is going to be very careful. No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. He's gone for the old nip and tuck here. And comes in. You can see Shores has gone, is now attacking T-Joke, got that job done. And they're holding on to each other as well. So I say he's got it done. He hasn't got it done. There's Papadim. T-Joke's on the left. These two used to race as teammates under the Crazy Drivers banners. But now they are bitter rivals. Shores gives him a little bit of a love tap there. T-Joke runs wide and says, what are you doing there? And he clucks and shuts the door on Simon Trebek. So he's holding station. There's Poddy Flack in second, holding up from Bojan. Right, Mike Bullen in the 88. That's a Honda, don't forget. Just ahead of him, just behind him is Nicky. We're riding on board now with Mike Bullen in the Honda, don't forget. Behind that, and Mike Bullen has the LE late entry ballast applied. LEBE is applied to this car, and it's gonna hurt him, but he has to carry it because otherwise he could have that opportunity of a race win. Matteo and JC Cameo are both DNFs at the moment. Real feel sorry for them, but that's how it is sometimes in racing. Through the right-hander we go. We saw Matteo go off. I'm not sure what happened to JC. Mike Bullen is doing a stellar job here from Nicky. Nicky's down 6 places at the moment, but again, don't forget, there was that little incident there between Jean-Petre and Nicky was had to go wide, and that's cost him dearly. He's now overdriving the car. It's Honda versus Honda, less ballast versus more ballast. Nicky should get this done going into turn 2. This should be a job done. There's Rob South in the Hyundai, the only Hyundai running at the moment. Right, Shores User has his old buddy still for company. There's Nick Papadim in third. Poddy Flack isn't really making any real inroads at the moment. T-Joke is going to try and go round the outside. He outbrakes himself by a very long way. Trebek mugs him. There goes Trebek in the Cupra. He's gone, thank you very much, I'll see you later. Ninad is just not close enough to get the job done, so Ninad's not anywhere there. Mike Bullen runs wide. That's allowed Nicky to get through. Jean-Petre is now on the back of Boki. This is the battle for 12th and 13th position. There's battles through the entire field. Jean-Petre's just outbraked himself. The commentator has come down and cursed him, so that's hurt him. Andy Foster down in the little Opel. He's down in 25th at the moment, or in 25th position. Just ahead of him is Andrea. These two are fighting for the AM series as well, don't forget. So this is important with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining of the opening race, is that they're going to have to really start to think about what they want to do, how they want to do it now. Andy Foster has been lapping quicker, but he's got to get it done. Derek Neal had a false start. That's hurt him. That's why he's all the way down in 26th position. It is what it is, and those are the way they are sometimes. Right, Trebek is now going to attack the back of Shores. There is a whole bunch of cars in the middle of the field. Simon Ashbourne, Manuel Alves, Rob South, Prieto, Carl Smith, George Realitas, Kirby, who are just kind of in the middle of nowhere. They're not really making gains, and they're not really slowing down. So that's just how it is sometimes. We follow the action. And this is where it is at the moment. In 5th is Trebek. Shores User, who we're now on board with from that rear camera, is in 4th position. Trebek is going to try and go for it now. Right on that middle camera. He gives him the little old love tap there. He's pushing him along. He's going, come on, get going, get going, get going. Doesn't push him too hard, a little bit of a break there. What in the background can anybody do? Shaw's user there has run wide. Well, I said he's run wide. I think that's his normal line through there, to be honest. So Shaw's user at the moment is holding up 2 other places, but he's got to do this. T-Joke is going to go up the inside of Trebek, gets the car stopped just enough. Trebek sees him coming, but he will have, crucially, the inside, and he'll shut that door forcibly shut, gets it done. T-Joke just runs off into his own little gravel world. So it's reset all over again. Butcher is now attacking the back of Everett. Well, I say he's attacking the back of Everett, Van Skeppen. But Van Skeppen, who's in 9th position, 10th position, sorry, and Butcher in that 33 there has been absolutely, these two have been stuck like glue for the entire race. They've basically just been following each other around in procession. Butcher is faster at the moment, but the problem Butcher's got, he's got to get past Van Skeppen. And Van Skeppen is actually, he's a solid defender right there. And that's what Van Skeppen's been doing for his entire season so far. He missed out on a race victory his first time out in race 3 in the opening race. He lost out to Shaw's, but that's how it is sometimes. Bojan's extended his lead at the front by 2.1 seconds from Podiflak, and Podiflak has extended his over Papadin by 4.6. Butcher is closing the lead, but Van Skeppen there is just not doing anything. Boki has Opalik for company. Opalik's in the 79. Just ahead of that, that's Boki riding on board now with Opalik. Boki's 3rd in the champion. Right, Butcher is right on the back, right on the side here of Van Skeppen. Butcher's on the left, Van Skeppen's on the right. Now it's the other way around. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Van Skeppen's going to get the inside line into the apex. Does Butcher go for the old switcheroos? He tries to go up the inside, but that'll now be the outside. It's not where he wants to be. That's really, really going to hurt him now. Van Skeppen has to keep this planted. He is lighter, he's nimble, he doesn't have the same amount of ballast on board. Gets to the apex first, clips it, ticks it, gets it done. Right, leaving this battle and rejoining the battle for 7th and 8th. There is 3rd, 4th, 5th. It's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. Stuniel is in 8th, he is the blue 95. Ninad is 2nd in the championship. This is important for the championship. There is only a point separating them. Stuniel, I think, can get this done, but he's gonna have to be confident on the brakes. Ninad runs wide there, in the last couple of corners there. This is the penultimate corner. It's 20 seconds. It's one more lap to go. That's it. Game over. Boki is 2.4 seconds ahead. The boards are all over the place. Right, George Rallytas. I'm keeping an eye on the front there. Ninad and Stuniel are so close together. Absolutely holding it. Butcher and Van Skeppen are swapping places. I can't keep up. There's Butcher. Butcher's now going to go the inside. This should be it. Butcher's been setting this move up for multiple corners. He's got to be confidence on the brakes into the hairpin. Van Skeppen sees him coming. Leaves one car's width, which is in the regulation. Van Skeppen will get a better drive here. Butcher is just holding it on now, and now it's going to be a drag right down to the apex. He's got it done. He's got ahead of him. Trebek's on the back of Shaw's. Is he right on the back of Shaw's? No, he isn't. Yes, he is. No, he isn't. He's on the right side there. They're all trying to go into this corner. What's Van Skeppen going to do? Van Skeppen's gone up the inside. Has he outbraked himself? No, he hasn't. Van Skeppen went for the manoeuvre, got it done. Boki did it, ticked the box. Shaw's user has Trebek for company. This is 5th and 6th, really trying to hold on to this. Trebek's in 5th. That's 4th and 5th, sorry, not 5th and 6th. Butcher is now back ahead of Boki, but behind Van Skeppen. We're going to try and follow this through the battle. Bojan is on to take his first race victory of the season. They're still fighting in the background. There's Butcher in the 33. I think Trebek and Shaw's is fizzled out. I don't think they can do it. Butcher's got past Boki just enough. Craig Deake's not really covered Craig Deake's in any way. He's just kind of somewhere. T-Joke's a DNF, Rob Sath, and that'll be running off the road. It'll all be down to those running off the roads and constant penalties. George Rallytas is on the back, so is Andy Foster. And that's the key. In order to get points, you've got to finish. George Rallytas here, this is important. He's fighting Carl Smith. These are 1st and 2nd in the AM series here. So George Relitas gets ahead of Carl Smith. Well, he doesn't get ahead. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Carl Smith just sailed it up the inside. Surely that's a penalty. He's got off the brakes. He's come off. He had to do it. George Relitas has had a slow down penalty. If he does not lose this, he's going to get 30 seconds added to his race time. He tries to shave it at the last minute. What's he done? It's all over. It's all over. Andy Foster brings up the end of the field in 23rd. He will be the last car. T-Joke. Oh, no, T-Joke's got off into the distance. He's had a game crash. His game crashed. He didn't quit. He had a game crash. Derek Neal bringing the car home in 24th. He actually started 25th, and he's up one position. So it's a good recovery there from Derek Neal. So there is your provisional race results. And always, as I say, people, they're always provisional because things can happen. Fastest lap was Bojan and Bojan. So Bojan's done the double here already. He could be on here for history. So Bojan takes it for the lead. Podiflak second, Papadim and Shawzusa. Trebek and Nenad, followed by Stu Neal and Craig. Craig Deeks was 8th. Van Skeppen, Butcher, Boki, Opalik, Ashbourne, Jean Petra, Alves, Greya, Bullen, Prieto, Relitas, Smith, Kirby, Andrea, Foster, Neil, T-Joke, South, Gilly, and JC bring up the entire field. It is on. It is on like Donkey Kong for all of the race series. Every single one of them is absolutely on fire tonight. It's going to be an exceptional race, I think. I'm going to log in and out of this because, as we've seen in the past, I've been having some issues in terms of the server. So we are actually going to quit the game completely and then rejoin it. But while we're doing that, we'll go across to the live chat. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the commentary box. I'll keep an eye on that. We do have some new features. There's actually a couple of things while this sorts itself out, I want to look at. Now, it's called... So we have a new feature. For those of you have seen it before, there it is. So the feature that we've got allows us to look at replays. But I don't know if I actually set the button up. Is it that one? Yes, it is. So we actually have the feature that allows us to look at replays. So there are a couple of replays I actually want to take a look at, if I remember where I put them. This is going to be the next problem. But as I said, we are a live show, which means that we have all of the excitement of Cindy Drive and replays. Right, we do have it. Right. So we are a live show, and we have the ability to look at replays. So while that figures itself out, go back to multiplayer. Somebody will come up with a server. Right, before we do that, brilliant, we've got that up and running. Right, let's go across to the spin wheel. So if you're new to the series and you're wondering, I don't know what's going on here. It's all gone wrong. And you're wondering what's going on. So basically, between races 1 and 2, we do the wheel spin, and that will determine the positions from race 3. Because there is 28 drivers in, we are actually doing up to position, I believe it's position 18. Somebody might come on here and tell me. I have to check the actual rules because I forgot. If I'm honest, let's have a look. That's what I want. And we do... I always check to make sure I've got it right. Yeah. 25 plus is up to P18. We had 28 drivers. So we're going to spin the wheel, and that will determine who is going to start on pole for race 3. And it will be position... Oh, position 14 is going to start on pole, which is Jean Petra has just been gifted a pole position start. I would put him to win race 3. That's where I'm putting my money. I'm not even going to say anything else. It's going to be race 3. Position 14 starts on pole for race 3 at everyone. Done. Okay. So everyone will start on race 3. Right, while that's sorting itself out, we're going to have a quick lock into here. We're going to get back lock into the server, and then there's a couple of things I want to look at. And it was some of these incidents. Hopefully this works. We're up and running. Right, let's go across to the replays, and let's see if we've got this up and running. Right, so there was one here. It was from... That is not what I want. As you can tell, there is lots and lots of replays in here. I think it was this one. No. Yeah, it's this one. So this is the incident. That was the second one. Yeah, we didn't get the car stopped here. It's more scruffy than anything else, but so what we're looking at here is, yeah, he just doesn't make the corner. He just doesn't make the corner. So this driver here, oops, there, that's Jean Petra, and he just doesn't. He just goes there. He doesn't make the corner. So he has to make it here, round here, and up. That's what he really needs to do. But he doesn't. So he just goes straight. Nicky's made the corner here because he's expecting this here for Jean Petra to do this. That's not what happens. Jean Petra just goes like that. And then Nicky has to take avoiding action. Nicky goes over there. And yeah. That's an interesting one for me. That's tough. That's tough. You'd need to look at driver inputs as well and other things. I mean, for me, I'm bordering on more of a penalty than anything else. But whether Jean Petra submits it, I don't know. Whether Nicky submits it, I don't know. Because it's one of those. It's half a dozen of one and half a dozen of the other. It'd be very, very... Is it a scruffy incident? Yes, I would agree it's scruffy. But it is what it is, I think. It's one of those. And that's the problem with that corner. I think this is the... Oh, is this the same incident? Yeah, that's the same incident. I don't know if I caught it. This was the... This was the issue. Let's have a look here. No, that's from last week, so it didn't get caught. So I didn't press it in time. Shame. Shame. It is what it is. Yeah. I didn't press it in time. It is what it is. Yeah, it's a bit tough, really, I think, in terms of that. As I said, there's always multiple incidents that we have to look at and different things, so I think that's always tricky in terms of what we're going to see and how we're going to see it. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's just going to. I think it's just going to be very hard to decide on that. But again, I think this season people have just accepted it, and then if it happens to them, it's the other way around. It's basically been pretty fair, to be honest. So, do I think something will be submitted? I doubt it very much. I doubt it. Right, we're going to go across now. Again, we're going to go into the live combox. So if you're new to the stream, because I can see quite a few new drivers in there, new people watching us, we do have the ability to talk to our drivers between the races. We love doing it. I enjoy talking to them. And yeah, they're free to join. So we got Mike Bullen with us. He was racing in the number 88. That's the Honda number 88, and he's got the late entry ballast applied. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. Mike, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely lovely. So, obviously, you had a lovely time in Florida.
I did.
For those of you who don't know, he went to Florida and absolutely nailed it. As far as I can see, he's single-handedly financed Disney for the entire week. 2 weeks. So, back this week, or new this week, actually, because it's your first time racing this week. First of all, I want to pick up on the late entry ballast application. Is it LEBE or LEB? I can't remember. I need to read the rules already. I know that I originally wrote that rule.
Yeah.
But it's a tough rule, but I think it's fair because you can get people like Sober Stig who would turn up and just cremate the field.
But how are you finding it? Because obviously your first week back and you got ballast on board.
Yeah, so yeah, I do agree with the rule. I think it is fair. No matter what championship level I ended up at, I'd be interfering in some way, shape, or form with no real chance of actually competing for anything substantial after missing 2 rounds. So, yeah, I think it's fair. In terms of the drivability of the car, it is difficult. Of course, I've had absolutely no seat time because I haven't been racing. I mean, I've basically been away for a month altogether because we were in America for 3 weeks, and obviously we didn't have any racing the couple of weeks before that. So yeah, it is difficult. It is tricky. But to be honest, the only place I'm really finding the weight is into turn 1, which is a bit of a tricky one. But I'm just finding that I'm not judging the weight properly, and then I'm flying out wide. So of course, it's costing me lap time. But yeah, I do agree with the rule at least. So.
I mean, it does hinder certain individuals more than others, but it's there effectively. It's there by design. Yeah. But the benefit is obviously it will hamper you this week, but next week you should be unballasted. I believe, which means you've got a bigger opportunity. The other thing as well is that coming back and the grid's even bigger. I mean, it's 20. Was it 28 cars?
Yeah, something like that.
which I think is the biggest ever that I've seen in a league in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a great grid.
I mean, how are you finding that in terms of obviously no seat time coming back, and it's very fierce competition.
Absolutely, and I guess the key thing is you don't really, when you haven't had a pre-season like most of these guys would have. I didn't know how fast or slow any of them were going to be. I know the regulars, Deeks and Poddy and Russ, and we've all raced against each other for years, and Stu Neal, etc. But yeah, a lot of the guys I've never seen them race before, so I'm not counting, the Sokes and that of the world because they're way faster than me. But those are the guys I'm usually around. But yeah, coming into it and having no idea of the pace of the people around you. The difficulty then is you haven't raced against them, so you also don't know how they race. You don't know the types of lines they take when they break, what type of driver they are. So it's all a bit exploratory this week for those reasons I mentioned. But good fun. Sometimes those are the best races when you don't really know what to expect.
And again, obviously, there's a little bit of time to go. 2 minutes. Again, quickly, hopefully you'll join between races 2 and 3. It's a classic style track, which means you can't run. It's not like last week. I think it was Abu Dhabi, and you're running. You can run 2 or 3 wide, and then you end up with silly incident points. Because I know we've touched on that before.
Yeah.
Because it's a classic track, you've got to make. You can't just stove. You can't stove it into somebody. Because when you do, you don't just take yourself out, you take about 12 other people out. And I'm not saying that you would do that. But do you find it's a different type of mentality because you can't go for every move?
Yeah, I think so. I think different tracks definitely promote better racing. But that said, we need the new tracks as well. And they do encourage overtaking and challenges. And it's about finding that balance, which isn't an easy thing. Excuse me, but I will say that I am a big fan of the classic tracks, and
well, I know
as I say, I've been away, had no idea what the calendar was, and text earlier, and he was like, "Oh, it's Hockenheim tonight," and I was like, "Oh, thank Lord, at least it's somewhere I know my way around."
I thought we were going out into the woods.
The old version.
I genuinely thought we were going into the woods, so it was amazing. If you are back, hopefully you'll be joining between races 2 and 3, because obviously, I don't know if you saw, I posted, but they're on the trailer for the update tomorrow. There is a picture of the BTCC Super Taurus, or the WTC, as in there's the Volvo, the Audi, and the BMW.
It'll be very interesting to see what that entails.
Which,
but yeah,
I posted a while back. Someone said to me, no, it would never happen. It's always going to be Motorsport Games. They're the best. They own it. And I remember the guy. I actually remember the guy's name. He was very full of him. He was a bit full of himself. And it turned out he might be wrong. That's going to be interesting. And hopefully season 9, it'll all be Volvos.
We'll see. We'll have a good chat about that in a bit.
We will. Right, I'll let you go. Good luck for race 2, and hopefully I'll talk to you after race 2.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
As always, if you haven't seen it yet, hopefully I need to watch this very carefully, because this is where I ended up with a problem last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave and I'm going to rejoin, because last time that we were doing this, I got kicked out and I couldn't get back in. So I'm hoping... Yes, we can get back in. And hopefully I'll get the formation and the grid. Sometimes it happens. Race Room is just going through a series of updates at the moment, which means we always end up in these unique situations. If you haven't checked it out, like I quickly said, there is a update. There's a big announcement coming tomorrow for Race Room. We're in the formation, so hopefully, fingers touched. Yes, here we go. This is why I did it, because it is green. The board's gone across. All the drivers there, it's not going to work. It's going to take a while for everything to load in. It's really struggling. It's lights out and away we go. At the moment, Bojan is still leading from Poddy Flack as it stands at the moment. The cars will load in quickly. Through the right-hander we go. There goes Bojan. Poddy Flack riding on board with him now. He's right behind Bojan. Nick Papadim is absolutely at the back of that. He's in third position. You can't see him, but you will do momentarily. There's Simon Trebek in the middle. Stu Neal goes round the outside. Trebek's gone round the outside, actually. He's in the middle here. You can't see him, but he is side by side here with Ninad. I'm watching it on the board. This is proper old school. Really, really holding on to this. Matteo is a DNF already. Andy Foster's right at the back, and he's fighting Rob South. He's in the middle of this. Absolutely holding on to it. There they are. They're all slowing up now. Poddy Flack is absolutely doing all he can do. There he is at the front. The entire field. Ninad's on the back of Trebek. Absolutely doing what he needs to do. What we're going to see up into turn 1. Can he get this done? Well, it's not turn 1. It's turn 6. Through the right-hander we go. Absolutely all over it. Trebek's got Stu Neal right on his rear end. Opalik and Nikita is absolutely doing. Nikita's in 14th, and he's pushing and pushing and pushing. Holding on to this as best as he can. The rest of the field is streaming through. Mike Bullen's down. It's still not down 17. Mike Bullen's pushing and pushing and pushing, but is he pushing enough? What can he do from here? Through the left-hander. Needs to hold this high. Shaw's Yusa is into third, don't forget, is in third. Nick Papadim, so he's in fourth. Nick Papadim is third. Ninad takes a completely different line there through the final sector of corners. He swings properly wide, whereas all the other drivers just hug that corner. So he's doing something really, really special there. The question is, what is he actually doing? This complete different line. In the background, Martin Kirby is right on the rear end here of Andy Foster. Andy Foster is holding station as well. Russ Butcher has had a slowdown penalty. Jean Petra is in 12th. Don't forget, Jean Petra has to make progress. He finished 14th. He's now up into 11th. He gets past Van Skeppen, who had a real bad race last time out. But there is the two teammates of Russ Butcher and Craig Deeks. We're not running a team championship at the moment, but they are neck and neck. Shaw's Yusa is attacking the back of Nick Papadim. That is for third and fourth position. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all streaming through. There's the 2. Renault Megane. Shaw's Yusa gets past Papadim. He slows the car down. Oh, Ninad had a little contact there with the back of Simon Trebek. That was an old little push wide of Rooney's. That's really forced him wide. Simon Trebek did the right thing there. Hit the brakes a little bit, let the car slow down. He needed to do that. Butcher has now got past Boki, but Jean Petra, there goes Craig Deeks, he sells it up the inside. He'll get a load of points for that, so he needs to be careful. He really, really needs to be careful when he tries to sail it up the inside there. Jean Petra's making progress as best he can. His best opportunity is race 3. Van Skeppen is on the outside, now the inside of Craig Deeks. Craig Deeks, car on the right side, the number 34, Renault Megane, the black one. Boom, there he is. There is Van Skeppen in the 88. Van Skeppen is doing all he can do. The question is, can he do any more? Can he push it any further? Can he maximise the points? He needs to get ahead of Boki. Boki's in 9th, and Boki is championship leader. Where is Nicky? Nicky's down in 14th, so there will be an extension to his lead, but Boki's going to close that gap. Behind that, you can see Manuel Alves side by side with George Relitas. There's George in the 31. He's got Mike Bullen for company in the 88. Ashbourne is now attacking Everett. He's going to go around the outside. He's not going to go around the outside there. Everett's just going to close that door into turn 1. Simon Ashbourne is carrying late entry ballast as well. That's really hurting him. Question is it hurting him too much? So he has to be really, really careful here. He's going to have to really think about what he wants to do into the hairpin as they go now side by side at the front there. It is all to play for. There is Papa Dim. He tries to go around the outside of Shaw's Yusa, but there'll be the inside into the next corner. He doesn't get it done. And there's Ninad in the 96. Ninad having a little bit of a contact there with the 74 of Papa Dim. But there is a battle for the lead. I'll keep that. He's run wide. He's run wide. Shaw's Yusa is not happy with the ballast on board that car. And you can tell now it's really hurting him. Papa Dim, race winner. Shaw's Yusa, race winner in this league. Trebek's a race winner in this league. Stu Neal, race winner. Bojan, new race winner. So the top 5, all except for Ninad, have won a race in the Touring Car Sim Racing League over the 6 seasons. So they know how to win these races, but they've really got to think about this. They can't afford the penalty points. Derek Neal and Andrea are battling each other. There was Derek Neal. Sorry, Derek Neal. He is battling Andrea for the Pro Series. Carl Smith is battling Andy Foster. Those two have been friends for the entire season and the last season and this season. So they're battling each other. Riding now from the rear camera of Andrea. He's in 21st. Behind that is Derek Neal. He's in 22nd. So that's really starting to struggle in terms of trying to get that done. He's really got to push this if he wants to get anything done. Behind that, ahead of that, you've got JC. JC's kind of on his own at the moment. Andy Foster is still holding up Carl Smith, and Martin Kirby is right on the rear end there. There's Kirby in the 77, in 26th position. Kirby's going to have to try and do what he can do from here. Riding on board with him now, with Kirby. Right, George Rallitas is trying to go around Mike. He's not going to go around there. He's really got to think about this manoeuvre. Mike has got the late entry ballast allocation applied, and that's going to hurt him. George has just got to get this car stopped into the turn 1, and then it will be game over. I think he'll get this done. They're all fighting each other at the front. Blinking heck, can't keep up. That is Butcher and Neil. They are side by side. Poddy Flack's on the back of Bojan, but this is the battle as we ride now back from Butcher. This is Butcher. Stu Neal's going to go up the inside. Does he get the car stopped? Yes, he does. Butcher sees him coming, gives him a little love tap for the old pitcheroonies. Boki right behind that. There's Boki in the number 50. He's going to get points running out there. There it is. Bojan's had a slow down penalty, but that's not Bojan, that's Boki. They're all getting slow down penalties. And there's John Petra in the 10th position in that number 12. He's got to really think about this now. He's really got to think about whether he can do this, because he's just got to get as many points as he can get. He's down in 4th place now in the championship. His nearest rivals, Stu Neal, Shaw's and Ninad, are all ahead of him. And at the moment, Stu Neal is the cork in the bottle. He's 7th. There's 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th, all in the same picture. Here's Van Skeppen riding from the back of this entire mountain of train. He's in 12th. There's 13, 14, 15. Sorry, 13 to 6. All over the place. I can't even keep up because I don't know where I am. There's the 33. That is Russ Butcher. He got past Boki. Boki's the 1, 2, 3rd car in the row, and they're all absolutely hammering each other at the moment. Rob South has caught the back of Mike Bullen. Right, Nick Papadim is going to attack for Shaw's Yusa again. There is Poddy. Poddy's not going to do anything silly from here because he can't afford to make the mistake. Nick Papadim's gone wide. He's basically gone to the checkout for a McFlurry. I hope he got a good one because he's lost a position there. He's only lost one position, but now he's got Ninad for company. Russ Butcher now has Jean Petra. He's the number 12 on the left. Jean Petra won't have crucially the inside line. There you can see in the background, that's T-Joke and Ashbourne. There's T-Joke in the number 7. There's Nicky, who's 2nd. His nearest rival, Van Skeppen, is 2 cars ahead of him. so he's got to get this done. Jean Petre is all over the back there of of Russ Butcher. Russ Butcher is the car in the middle. He is that number 33. Stu Neal is doing a stellar job. This is where the ballast will really start to hurt Stu Neal. With 6 minutes to go now, he's got to hang on, because as soon as that door opens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars will all go through simultaneously. So Stu Neal is defending for his championship here. Jean Petre is now up the inside of Butcher. Jean Petre is on the left side, that number 12. This should be a job done. No, he hasn't. He just hasn't got the legs. Jean Petre, unfortunately, it is high in that gear, but that's when the ballast comes into play, and that's really, really hurting him. So at the moment, Stu Neal is in 7th place. Nenad's on the back of Papa Dim. Where's Stu Neal? Stu Neal has Butcher for company. Butcher should go. He's not going to go around the outside there. He gets a little bit tail happy there, and that's allowed Jean Petre to come up right behind him. He's flashing his lights, I think, to say, hey, don't do that, don't do that. But I don't think there's anything of that. Realistically, it is what it is. The drivers ahead are all fighting each other. Nothing's really holding station there. Nenad is doing what he can do. This is just absolute mentalness. There's so many cars defending each other. I can't keep up. And they're all still on the track. Now they've got to be careful that they don't start losing points. Bokey's going to go around the side of Butcher. I think Butcher's cooked his tyres now. So Stu Neal was the match that started all of this, but he's doing enough now. He's got a little bit of gap there to Bokey, so Bokey should get this done, but they've got to watch their incident points. Van Skeppen is not this. He's that 88. 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th car, that left car. There's Nicky. Nicky's going to go up the inside of Craig Deeks, thinks better of it. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. There's the number 9. He's going to go around the outside of the 34. No, he doesn't. The 34 cuts him off. Got to be careful with that. You'll get incident points. Too many of those, and it'll be uno numero finito. And he's just got up the inside. Oh, contact at the front. Contact at the front. It's getting a bit scruffy now. They've got to slow themselves down. There's 4 minutes to go. They're all going to be looking for those incident points and managing it as best they can. Papadim and Shaw's are holding stations. Rebecca and Nenad are holding stations. Andrea and Carl Smith are fighting each other. So Carl Smith in 24th. Just ahead of that is Andrea in 23rd. These two are now battling each other side by side and have been for the entire race. Carl Smith's run wide. No, he hasn't. Andrea's run wide. That'll be a penalty. Carl Smith gets a penalty for the fun of it. So that's going to be tricky. JC's trying to go up the inside of Derek Neal. Ooh, gets the car rotated. Right, Nick Papadim is once again attacking the inside of Shaw's. Does he get the move done? Yes, he does. Nick Papadim goes back into 3rd. So he reholds 3rd position, which is what he needed to do. Nenad is right behind now Shaw's. Right, we leave that battle and rejoin the battle for the middle of the field, because there's battles everywhere. Nicky's on the back of Opalik. There's Nicky in the number 5. He's in 16th position. Sorry, in 15th. The 79, that's Opalik. Sorry, that's 18th. They can't keep up. Opalik's going to go up the inside. Nicky sees him coming, leaves the door open. Gets a bit of a love tap there, a little bit roughed up. He will return the favour. Do not worry. Carl Smith's on the back of Kirby, down for 25th and 26th. Martio is a DNF. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. I'm just holding station. Right, we're going to actually look at the leaders for about 5 minutes. I say that, Carl Smith's on the back of Kirby. So Carl Smith is right on the back of Kirby. This is 26th and 25th. In 25th is Martin Kirby. In 26th is Carl Smith. These two are battling each other for each. Bojan's had a slow down penalty. We'll keep an eye on that. Simon Ashbourne in 12th position is fighting the back of Craig Deeks. He's in 11th position. Through turn 1 they go. Just ahead of him there's Pascal. Where's Prieto? So Prieto is the driver that did not start the race. So he did not start race 2. That's why we're down to 27 drivers. There's Ashbourne. He's going to try and go up the inside of Craig Deeks. This should be job done. Craig Deeks just... Yeah, that was very dangerous. That was very scruffy from him. Yeah, very scruffy. Right. George Relitas is right on the back of Nikita. Sorry, Nikita. Butch has had a DNF. Craig Deek has had a disqualification. So at the moment, that has promoted a bunch of drivers. George is going to go up the inside here. That is Boki and Jean Petra making contact with each other, going into that turn. George, that'll be a disqualification, I reckon. I think he's run out of points. Has he run out of points? I have no idea, but he's banged into the wall. It's going to be 54, so it will be one more lap to go. No, I think he's just had a DNF. It's just coming up on the board as I think his game's disconnected or he's smashed into the wall. Either one of the two. And in all of that, Ninad has got past Shaw's, which is important for the championship, for the Pro Championship, as it stands at the moment. Bojan's held off the threat from Podiflak, so Bojan will get 2 race victories and a pole position on if he can keep this up. So at the moment, no, he had a DNF. He's had a DNF, so I'm not sure why he's got a DNF. Ralitas, Butcher, Matteo and Craig Deeks have all had DNFs. So they are all holding station as it stands at the moment. Through into the right-hander they go. What can Boki do from here? I don't think Boki can really do anything. I think Boki's had it. I think he is game over at the moment. And let's see what can happen. As we come round into that final lap, I lost audio there for a second. I do apologise. There is the race leaders. There is 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. They're all now kind of spread out a little bit. We're riding on board with Ninad. He's down in 4th. Jean Petra's on the back of Van Skeppen. I say he's on the back. He's going to try around the outside. It is rematch all over again. Can Jean Petra get the legs to get going? His nearest competitor is Stu Neal, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the pro and the overall are all ahead of him. JC's on the back of Derek Neal. I said he's on the back of Derek Neal. JC is going to attempt to go around the outside of Derek Neal. This is yeah, that's a penalty if I've ever seen one in my lifetime. He just went forward. There's not a lot I can say to that. Very naughty. But if that's submitted for me, that's a full-on penalty, and that's the end of it. There is Jean Petra. He's kind of in the middle. We're going to watch Bojan cross the line to take the 2nd victory of the evening, followed by Podiflak, Nick Papadim. Ninad holds on to 4th position. He will be super happy with that. Shaw's is in 5th. Trebek is in 5th. Stu Neal is in 7th, Boki is in 8th, Everett is in 9th. He crosses the line. Jean Petra crosses it in 10th, T-Joke's 11th, Manuel is 12th, Opalik is 13th, Ashbourne is 14th, Nicky is 15th. I say he's 15th, they're still going. Bullen 16th south. We're watching Andrea and JC as they all cross the line in the gaggle of cars. Absolutely stellar result from all of them. Nobody got lapped. That's how close the field is. And Carl Smith crosses the line in 23rd. There is provisional race results as already. So Podiflak takes the fastest lap. Bojan cannot do Tcsrl history. Podiflak gets the fastest lap of 1:48.734. That's even faster than the qualifying lap. Bojan takes the double. He's making up for last week. Papadim is 3rd. Ninad, Shaw's, Trebek, Neal, Bojan, Van Skeppen, Petra, T-Joke, Alves, Opalik, Ashbourne, Nicky, Bullen, South, Neal, JC, Andrea, Andy Foster. Kirby's in 22nd and Smith is 23rd. Valitas, Butcher and Matteo are all DNFs. Craig Deeks is a DQ. He is disqualified. And that will be down purely to the amount of instant points that he had. And that's what's happened. Again, we've had this issue with trying to load into the server. My internet connection, I'm just monitoring it now because I want to make sure that everything is up and running. I think it's fine. The issue is the way that the server loads. And that's the issue. The problem is it's the way that the game does its loading. So he's got to be, they've got to be absolutely on it, you see. We're going to do a quick speed test now while we're running, just to make sure everything is up and running. because once again we lost the start of the race. It's doing its connection now, so we'll keep an eye on that as it sorts itself out. Which is a bit of a shame, really, because we missed it. To see how it's going. Yeah, we're doing okay. We'll keep an eye on that and see how it goes. The issue is that it's loading. It's to do with the amount of cars that get loaded, and that causes us the issues that we've got. So we need to keep an eye on it, really, and go from there. But again, a very eventful race 2. So I think what we're going to do is we might have to, while they go through this process of 5 minutes, we might be going on to the hardwired connection. We'll have a look at that for next week. So next week we'll have a look at that. I think we're having some issues as all. I think my internet is just not running as it should at the moment. So we'll have a look at that next week and we'll go from there with it. Hopefully we can get into the next race and we won't have the same problems. Again, we are a live show and we have to work through these problems. So, yeah, we're on board. We're on about the average speed, so we should be okay. So it's a bit frustrating, but these things happen, unfortunately, and so we have to work around them. Right, anyway. Back to the commentary box between races 2 and 3. Again, a very eventful race, as always, as I'd expect. Lots and lots of talking points, as I suspect there always will be. So, I think it's always difficult because obviously we've got our favourite drivers. We know, everyone has their supports in the world, and it's always very tough. There's different things that we don't have access to. We aren't the FIA. I'm not the FIA. I don't have access to multiple onboards, and that always creates certain issues that mean that it just means that we don't have that ability to look at things or load things correctly. So it's tricky. Some of them I think are a bit silly. Race 3 is going to be interesting because we're reversing from position 14. Now, Jean Petre should win this. Unless he has something absolutely horrific happen, he should win this hands down, to be perfectly honest. So that will be very, very interesting to see.
We've got Mike back in with us between races 2 and 3, which is really nice to see. And as I say, there's always different things to see. I will work on it for the next time. There's something not right in the way the server's loading things up because it's just not loading up the spectator quick enough. Unfortunately, the spectator is always the last person to load. So I need to discuss with the admin how we do that. I've seen a couple of queries come up. Can we improve that? I need to talk to him and find out how we're going to do it. Realistically, I think we need to either do practice, warm-up and formation. It's the formation part from going to practice and formation. It's just not loading the game quick enough, unfortunately, because I've got to load 28 cars. Anything up to 15 it can load quite quickly, but at 28 plus, the game, it cannot do it. It's different for the spectator because I have to take in so much information. So we'll have to look at that for next time. So that's one of those questions. Yes, we will fix it, but we'll have to look at it. Right. Leaving that, we're getting across to Mike Bullen. Mike, can you hear me?
I can.
Right. Interesting race 2, I think, for yourself. Lots of battles that I could see up and down positions. How was it?
Yeah, it was okay. It was a difficult start. I got squeezed going into turn 2. Sort of 3 times in a row, really, which I was a little bit annoyed at, to be honest, because I got squeezed once and I thought, okay, he doesn't know I'm there. And then the second and third time, I thought, well, he definitely knows I'm here now because he's at the back of me, or the front of me with his back. So I got squeezed, and obviously I then ran well wide into turn 2 and lost a couple of positions. But other than that, yeah, it was good fun after that, just chasing back, battling. It's difficult with this ballast on, and like I said, I'm so out of practice. But yeah, I'm just enjoying it. I'm having a bit of fun. All good.
And do you think as well, because I was talking to Stu Neal, I think it was last week, and I think it was, no, I didn't talk to him the week before that, but because the field is so big and the gap is so small now between, I mean, you cast your minds back over the seasons, and the gap between first and second, first and last would be, 40, 50 seconds. Well, that's actually really mean. It's not that. It would be like 20 seconds. Maybe that's even more. It'd be like 8 seconds. Now it's like 3 seconds. Everybody finished on the same lap within 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So are you finding that now it's really exciting, but as we've discussed previous about incident points, the game is the game. It has them, no matter how much we argue that they are unfair. That is the game, and everyone plays by those rules. Is it one of those things now that you're like, wow, if I make one mistake, I'm not losing 1 or 2 positions, I'm losing 3, 4, 5 now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I was really lucky in that I only lost, I think, 3 positions in that at turn 2, and considering it was the first lap, that could have been a lot worse. I could have been right at the back. I've had those in the past, But there's 2 elements to it. Yeah, there's those making sort of mistakes, but it's even just the little ones where you end up triggering track limits. It's so close now that if you let off the accelerator to let the track limit warning go away, you might lose a position. Whereas before, you probably lose, a bit of a gap to the car behind and the car in front. Now, you've got to let off the accelerator to let that half a second penalty go away. Otherwise, obviously, you get a big penalty. And you could even lose a position from that. So you're right in what you're saying. It's much tighter, much closer. But it does make the racing much, much better, even if the server is struggling to hold us all in.
Yeah, because this is the thing I've got, is that at the moment I'm the last to load into the server. The way that the game does it is that, from what I understand, is that all the drivers load into their positions, and then I have to load everything.
Yeah.
And I'm missing the race starts at the moment, and I'm having to quickly flip, and I think it's because there's no warm-up. I think it's because you go from practice to formation to race. The game doesn't load quick, because you're all still loading in formation.
I see.
I think it's causing me problems. I think it's causing everybody problems.
Yeah. There's lots of frame issues tonight. Going into certain corners, it's dropping to 20 odd frames a second for some people and stuff. So there's all sorts going on. But yeah.
But also, I also think what's unprecedented is there's 28 drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's a lot to go through the server. It's a lot of information, and unfortunately, it only takes one of the drivers to have a poor internet connection, and it affects the whole field. And there are 1 or 2 out there that are glitching and do have those issues where suddenly they're on a 400 pin, and bouncing around the screen like Tigger. So it does make it difficult. But unfortunately, and it's not so much the bouncing that's the issue, is that it's the knock-on effects it has on the server, because the server's trying to compensate for that. Yeah. And that then causes these glitches and problems. But like I say, that's one of those things you just got to deal with, unfortunately.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, I think, in terms of just having the field that we have. I think it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem nonetheless. I don't think we've ever faced it before. Realistically.
No. I don't think we have. But you're right. I'd rather have 30 cars on the field and have the odd problem than be running around with 6 cars. So
and I think it's one of those things is that the bigger field is better than having the 6 cars. But I mean, it's just exciting. It's really exciting. So race 3, obviously, it's reverse grid.
Yeah.
And you are 17th.
Yeah.
You've got Nicky ahead of you and Alves. And obviously then you've got Boki, Flack, Papadim, Yusa, Trebek. Is it just a case of, do you think that you're roughly around that 15th to 17th position currently at the moment in terms of your pace? Or do you think, again, it's just a case of, let's just have some fun?
No, it is a case of having some fun, but that is where my pace is tonight. I am having fun, but what I mean by that is, I guess I'm not taking myself too seriously.
Yeah.
But I am still trying as hard as I can, of course. So, yeah, it is absolutely just a case of having a bit of fun because I'm not really fighting for anything. I'm having missed 2 rounds this season, but I'm still want to be competitive and do the best I can. So, that is about where my pace probably is tonight. Unfortunately, I don't know if it is a ballast, lack of practice, bit of both, probably. But that is really sort of about where I am, sort of. Yeah, unless there's a few incidents ahead with some of the, in the nicest way, slower drivers being at the front and the faster drivers chasing through. Sometimes there's some incidents, so I might sneak into the top 15. But yeah, to be honest, with the size of the grid, I said to myself, if I'm in the top 20 tonight, I'll be happy. And I've been 17th and 16th so far. So yeah, I'm happy enough with that.
It's very fast. Right, I just want to quickly move away from that and talk about the update that I quickly talked about beforehand. So I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet.
I haven't seen the trailer. I just saw your post for it.
Yeah, so and there's a bit of a discussion. So I went onto the race room actual Discord.
Yeah.
And it was pointed out that I think the servers had a meltdown. So it's been pointed out that it could be a whole host of Super Tourers from the entire era. Not as in like from 96, 97, but it won't be just from BTCC. It'll be from like the German version of it and the American version. And I think that's really exciting. I think it's exciting because hopefully they'll all just be Volvos. Because there is a Volvo. If you look at the picture, it's a Volvo 850 and it's the saloon version. Shame it's not the estate, but there we go. I would recommend it because I think that's going to be exciting. I mean, I don't know what you think, but for me, I mean, I love super touring, and ultimately, I think it's a big. If it is true, it's a big loss to Race Factor 2. Because because everybody, I know they've got the BTCC on Race Factor 2, but let's be honest, everyone just wants to drive the Super Tourers.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, like R Factor, it just isn't. I don't know. It just it's not one I enjoy. I've tried many times, but I just can't get into it. But on the subject of that, if that is what it's going to be, that's great. If we can get the ballast right, it means that we could run cars from different countries. If not, we could at least have the opportunity to run different types of series. You could run the American series, European series, British series. It gives the admins options really of looking at different types of categories rather than running the same thing over and over again. So it's exciting. It'd be interesting to see what actually comes of it and whether we get any new tracks with that as well.
Hopefully, because if you're having a chance, if you go on to that's why I was a bit late. I was doing some other stuff, but I was a bit late as well. Is that they've one of the guys, I think, from the team from KW showed a picture of the Honda actually on screen next to the real car. It wasn't the Accord. It was an Accord, but it wasn't the Thompson one. James Thompson colours. It was. I think it was from a different series, but I don't know. If they do it, I mean, I would be super happy if we did Super Tours next season.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely no complaints from me. I think if that's something that we can implement and look at different categories. I mean, I know it's touring cars, but it's, different categories of car. Absolutely, I'm all for it. I'm all for change. I'm all for trying new things. Let's make it as fun as it can be.
It'll be super exciting. That's what I think anyway. Right, so I'm just going to leave you for a minute, Mike, because I noticed Simon, he popped in. I saw his little cheeky face. It popped in and then popped off. I think he was just showing the crowd that he was there. Again, Simon yourself has got late entry ballast applied.
Frank Skinner was hilarious last week, but I don't think he's worth 35 kilos, mate.
Hey, you never know. You never know. So, again, a bit of a struggle this week. Obviously, that ballast is on board, so that's obviously causing you some issues. How are you finding it? Because obviously, you're in that mid pack, mid to lower pack, and there seems to be like I touched on with Mike, is you make one mistake, you're losing 2, 3, 4, 5 positions now.
My big problem on this circuit is I cannot sort the hairpin braking out. Whatever I try and do, I'm either locking or braking too early, and it's just I'm terrified I'm going to run into somebody. But pole for race 3, I'm even more scared of that, I think.
You're 14th.
Yeah.
Wait, but hang on. Where did you finish?
You said race 3.
Oh, now I've just read it. Sorry, I got distracted because Jean Petra was on 14th, so I just went Jean Petra's going to win it, and that was as far as I got with that. Wow, yeah, but you've got Opelic and Boki behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. If you didn't have the ballast on board, and I know ifs and buts, I think you could have been possible victory top 3.
No, because of the braking into the hairpin, I really can't get the hang of it.
No, I think you could.
I got no chance
because Opelic and Boki haven't been consistent over the race. Butcher DNF'd in the last one. I'm not sure why. Van Skeppen struggled with the brakes. Craig Dietz was disqualified. Shuniel has got ballast. Nenad Trebek is stuck in the middle somewhere at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, though, isn't it? It's that day in history.
Yeah, we'll see. If I can sort my braking out, I might have a chance. But 35 kilos is killing me. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Right, less than a minute to go. I'm gonna have to
hop
off.
Good luck. Hopefully, I'll talk to you after.
It's been good. I'll might be P20 at the end of this for sure.
Right,
see you later.
See you later.
Bye.
As always, there's always a number of things. Right, I'm hoping this will actually work and we won't have to log back in and back out, which is up there on the moment. So, like I said, we're going to try and figure it out as we go along. I think we know what the problem is, but we'll try and stick it with you. I think my money's on Jean Petra. My money is on Jean Petra, if I'm honest. He needs to get a good, clean start. He's fast. He's unbalanced. He's got a lot less ballast. His nearest rivals are miles behind. He's got to capitalise on this now. He's had a bad. The race one was just it was a poor finish down in 14th. He now has an opportunity to really, really make this up, and he's got to make it work. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. We're going to go across to the live feed for the last race of the evening. Right, I haven't been checking on the commentary, the guide drivers and the guys. Sorry, David Rotar, nice to see you. I've not seen you on stream before. We all know who you are supporting. That's the Aguirre boys. And if you are wondering, that is Bojan first and second. Here's the warm-up. So hopefully this is going to work and figure itself out. Because I'm still waiting for some drivers to load in, and we will find out, hopefully, this works. If it doesn't, then I've got a whole new problem, and I'm going to have to look at it. So, David, nice to see you. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Get on Discord. There are 27 drivers in at the moment. Lad and Dad Gaming. Lad and Dad Gaming. You followed me before. Time to buy some VRP. Lad and Dad Gaming. Please let me know, Lad and Dad Gaming, who you are, because I do remember. I just can't remember. I know I've seen you on my commentary before. I'm pretty sure I've commentated on you driving as well. Time to buy some VRP. Yes, wait till tomorrow. Wait till the announcement comes out before you go buying anything. It's purely speculation on my part. It's one picture that I've seen. One picture is that what I've seen from it, and that's what all I've been talking about is that single picture. So if it is correct, we could see the Super Tourers, and I will be honest, I will be super happy. I will be ecstatic if it is correct, but you never know, because that's tomorrow and this is today. There's 26 drivers in of the 28 that started. I'm actually going to pull out all of this stuff, and hopefully some of this will clear up some of the issues I've got. We don't need that. That can go. And we will see what we get. No, we don't want that. Right. There is 9 seconds left of the warm-up. I'm hoping it's going to load into the formation correctly. We're going to stick with Jean Petra because he's got a good He's got a good... Now it takes a couple of seconds to go through this, so I'm just hoping it works. We're in the formation. Right, we're going to keep an eye on this now because there's a minute to go in the formation, and I'm watching the formation now. So if at the end of the formation it doesn't go, I'll be loading out and loading back in as quickly as possible as I can. And we will see what happens. So that's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, my money is on Jean Petre. That's where I'd put my money, perfectly honest. Above everybody else, my money's on Jean Petre to take it. Again, nobody's loaded in. Something's going on here, so I'm really struggling to get through this. Something is really affecting the ability to load into this. I really should see seeing the cars now. There we go. Yes, it has worked. All cars are on the grid. We are going to see the lights out. It is tick box. We are loaded. Yes, it's worked. Fantastic. Watch the lights at the top left. And it's lights out and away we go. And Jean Petre has had the perfect start that he needs to do. Simon Ashburn on the left side is really holding stations. There's 26 drivers at the moment. They're all coming through in that middle pack. Do they all hold station? Yes, they do. 2 by 2, 1 by 1 into turn 1. Absolutely sensational. There's Boki in the number 50. 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in the back. Papa Dim. It's 3 wide into turn 1. This isn't going to work. It's all going to be squabbles and elbows out and bing bang boshing because they sort themselves out. Everett's got through. George Rallitas, he's had a spin into turn 1, but they've all miraculously got through into turn 1. Magnetic stuff from the driver. Stu Neal is up to 6th. He's ahead of Nenad. He needs to do that. That's what he needs to do. They're all piling in. There's the entire middle pack of the field. There's Poddy Flack going up the inside. What a manoeuvre. He gets himself up 4 places in the first half of the lap. There's a whole stoop of cars in the middle. There's Nenad. There's Poddy. Poddy is now ahead of Craig Deeks. There's Shaw's User in the background in the number 30. Shaw's User is next to Papa Dim. There's Papa Dim. That's the 96. That's not Nenad. The 96 is Bojan. Matteo is out again. He's off the road. He's given up. Jean Petre is leading at the moment. There goes the Butcher. It's not Butcher, it's Craig Deeks. So Craig Deeks here in the 34 is between Poddy and Nenad. There he is. Shaw's User's gone off again. Shaw's User, race 3. And now he's got to wait till the back of the field. Down in 22nd he goes. It's another poor race. Van Skeppen has had a DNF. Not sure why, but he's DNF'd. I think that might be to do with the incident, but it's all over again. Right. Nenad now has the opportunity to once again in race 3 maximise his points advantage across Van Skeppen. Against everybody else. There's Trebek. Trebek's on the left in the 27. He's attacking the man, which is Nikita. Trying to keep up here. Nenad's in the 96. He's in 8th. There's the 34. That's Craig Deeks. And there's Nick Papadim right behind that. There you can see Boki and Butcher fighting each other. Boki and Ashbourne. Boki is on the right side. He's now on the left side. He's 1, 2, 3, third car ahead. There goes Poddy Flack on Stu Neal. I think Stu Neal saw that come in, let him go. Yeah, I think that was an old switcheroo there. Butcher, Craig Deek gets passed by Nick Papadim. Craig is really struggling into that corner, but Ashbourne is holding third. Just enough. He's got 35 kilos on board. Boki is side by side with him. Boki is in the 30. He runs wide. He's gone off the road. Ashbourne sees him coming. Butcher has gone for good. There's contact. There's contact in the background. Who goes off? Is that Stu Neal? No, it's Simon Ashbourne. Ashbourne has gone off, so he's going to be at the back of the field. He's not going to enjoy that. That's going to be a whole conversation. Boki is now into third. I think Butcher was the cause of that. We'll have a look at post-race. Butcher's trying to go up the inside of Poddy Flack. He gets the job done, and it's trading patient all over again. So at the moment, we've lost Everett and Matteo, 25th and 26th. 24 cars are still running. But Nick Papadim down in 8th position, riding on board with him now. There is 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th, all nose to tail. And we're riding on board now with Bojan right at the back of this field. You can't really see there, we need the driver's view in the middle. Through turn 1 we go, bounces onto the curbs, bounces on the other curb, right wheel, left wheel, over 120 miles an hour into turn 1. The guys at the fight are all fighting. There's Trebek. He sees and sniffs Nenad. Not enough. He then has to hit the brakes a little bit, and that's put him into the clutches of Nikita. There's Nikita in 11th position, don't forget. Second in the championship. His nearest rival, Van Skeppen, is out. He's going to maximise his point advantage now. He's got to get as far as he can if he wants to do it. Poddy Flack is going to go up the inside of Butcher. That's going to be job done. It's the white car at the front. There's a whole group of them behind it. Absolute impact. They're all trying to struggle. It's that hairpin. That hairpin has properly hurt all of them. Mike Bullen's into 15th. He'll be happy with that. Right, Butcher's on the back of Boki. Poddy is in 5th. He's up 8 places. He's working on that. Trebek's now on the back of Deeks. There is Bojan. Bojan started 14th. He's first. Bojan's not going to do the triple here for the Agir boys. He's going to be holding station there. That's third. There's a bunch of cars going through here. There's T-Joe, there's Nicky, there's Bojan. Bojan's in 13th. Riding on board now with Bojan. He's right up the back of Nikita. Nikita is going to make that the widest Honda in the world. He holds the corner perfectly, clips the apex. It's hold positions again. Boki is now riding on board from that rear camera of Boki. That is Russ Butcher behind him in 4th, and there is Poddy Flag. And behind all of this is Stu Neal. But we're riding on board now with the camera of Poddy Flag. He's not going to go on the inside. This is audacious move through there. Poddy is just driving around everybody. He's a man possessed. The question is, can he get... He should. He's not going to get Jean Petra. Jean Petra's 2.9 up the road. There is no way he's going to mug him. Right, Carl Smith is on the back of Bullen. Bullen is in 15th position. He's up 3. He's up 2. Carl Smith is currently ahead of everybody else he needs to. Simon Ashbourne is going to overtake Andy Foster down for that position. Right, Bojan, Nikita, and Nikita have been fighting each other for the entire race. They're still fighting for each other. There goes Craig Deeks. He's outbraked himself. He's really struggling with that hairpin, but we are looking at Bojan and Nikita. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th car in the row. T-Joke is side by side with Craig Deeks. Coming through now is Nikita and Bojan. And riding on board with Bojan now, he's in 13th position. He's pushing it and pushing it. Right, we leave that battle and rejoin the battle for 3rd position. That is Poddy on the left. That is Boki on the right. He gets it done. He's just absolutely driving around everybody. With less than 8 minutes to go, I just don't think Boki's just had an accident all by himself. Butcher's going to mug him. Is Stu Neal going to mug him for good measure as well? No, he's not. He's side by side. Yes, he is. No, he isn't. He just holds on to... Yes, he does. He does mug him. The 95, that's the blue car, mugs him as well. Absolutely mugs it, says thank you very much, licks his chops, and it's job done. So he's got mugged as well now. The question is, can Papadim mug him now as well? There's Nick Papadim. He's in the 74. Nenad riding on board with Nenad now. He's in 8th position. There's 7th and 6th. They are nose to tail. It is a car park. All coming into turn 1. Boki's outbraked himself. He's tried to go up the inside. That's just not going to work through there. Stu Neal, again, ballast on board Stu Neal, and once again Stu Neal is the road blocker for the basically 6 cars, and they're all catching themselves up here. Stu Neal is on the outside. He's going to lose out to Boki. Boki gets him mugged. Nick Papadim, 1, 2, 3, 4th car. Stu Neal's on the right into the hairpin. Nick Papadim just outbrakes himself again. And Stu Neal goes back into 5th. I just can't keep up. So Stu Neal's in the 95 and he's leading again. We're from that rear camera here of, where is he? There he is, of leading from him again. Now Trebek's going to challenge him. There's T-Joke, there's Boki, there's Nenad for good measure. He's in the middle of all this. And T-Joke in that number 7 Peugeot car, the yellow one that we're watching, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th car in the row. He's got everyone to join for fun as well. And then you've got Manuel Alves, who's now getting faster. There's Mike Bullen in the 88. He's decided to join this party. So anybody between 5th and 15th could finish 4th. Not quite sure who, because it's all kicking off with 6 minutes to go. Absolutely manic stuff at the moment. We're riding on board with Bojan. Bojan, don't forget, he's in 11th position. He's up 3 places. He's got Craig Deeks ahead. He's got Nick Papadim behind him. You can see him in the ring mirror there. We're riding on board now with Mike Bullen in that 88. Now on to Manuel Alves. He's really come on speed within this 3rd race of the season. He's absolutely piling the pressure on. But the question is, can he apply it enough? Where's Bojan? Bojan's that number 50. He's going to go up the inside there of the around the outside there of Craig Deeks. Should get that job done. Closes the door shut. Papadim, there's Papadim. He is in a 12th position, don't forget. He is tacking that black number 34. There he is. That is Craig Deeks. Behind that is Nikita. Right, Trebek's. Where's Trebek? There's Trebek. He's coming to the hairpin now. He's that black and yellow car. Stu Neal just mugs him. He just outbrakes himself. Oh, Trebek overcorrecting there, and he's made contact with Nenad. But does Nenad hold the position? Yes, he does, and he's kept his foot planted. That little mistake has cost Nenad out to T-Joke, and Bojan have now got over Nenad, but he's still crucially ahead of Shaw's, who's down in 18th position. He's down 7, he's recovering, but he's not. He's going to run out of time with 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. He's going to run out of time. He's just going to run out of time. Right, Nikita is not even on the board because he's mugging. No, Mike Bullen is going to overtake Nikita. Nikita's nearest rival is Boki, who's in 8th. Because Van Skeppen is nowhere near it. So that championship is completely blown wide open at the moment. Absolutely all over it. Well, I say it is because he's overtaken Bullen again. Absolutely magnetic. There's Bullen in the 88. Right, Andrea and Simon Ashbourne are fighting each other. And JC and George Ralistas, I probably messed his name up, are fighting each other. So this is the battle for 21st, 22nd and 23rd, 4th and 5th, 22nd, 3rd and 4th, 5th, or whatever it is. You do the math. There's so many going on. We're riding on board now with Andy Foster, who's right on the back of that ladder of JC. He's in 23rd, don't forget. Ahead of that is 22nd. There we go. Got the numbers correct. Through the right-hander we go. All 3 cars are the same, except they're all completely different. 3 different nationalities, 3 different manufacturers, all fighting for that place. Who is going to take it into that corner? It's settled again. Right. Leaving this battle and rejoining the Nick Papadim battle. Poddy Flack is also about to overtake. Well, I said he's about to overtake him. By the time I actually got to Poddy, he'd already overtaken the move. Give the commentator a chance, man. The man is possessed today, but he's going to be second. Right. Where are we at the moment? Okay, so in 8th and 9th position. Well, I still don't have a breath at the moment. So 8th and 9th position. Nenad's had a disqualification. So Nenad is disqualified for... you'll have hit the points limit. So Nenad's had a disqualification. You cannot overturn a qualification. But Shaw's is in 16th. Stu Neal is in 5th. So I think Stu Neal's going to... Well, I say that. Trebek's about to mug him. Well, he isn't, because there's Trebek in the 27. Stu Neal riding on board with him now. He's in 5th. I'm on the action camera. He's in 5th position. That is Trebek. He is down in 6th position at the moment. It's a very nice action camera, but we want the TV camera. So at the moment, those two are absolutely nose to tail. Stu Neal once again is holding up all the way from 5th down to 13th. You can see them all in the same picture. It's going to be absolute manic in the closing 148 seconds. It's a 148 lap. There will be this lap plus one more. It's race 3. It'll all be about managing those points. Stu Neal has got to maximise these now. He can make considerable gains to his Tcsrl Championship rivals in the Pro Series. Boki is going to make considerable gains for his nearest championship rival in the Pro-Am Series. And the Am Series is completely wide open all over again. I have no idea who's going to win that. That is going to be super exciting. Into the fight, into one but last hairpin we go. There goes Simon Trebek, but he's outbraked himself again, and that's allowed Stu Neal to hold on to that position. And Stu Neal has just time and time again, perfect braking spot. He sees them coming. He holds the line, but now he's got Trebek and Bojan for company. And right at the back of this is Boki. It just goes round all of them. What a manoeuvre Boki does. He says, well, if you're all going to go too slow from there, I'm just going to go absolutely all over the place. Nenad coming on stream there saying there's a high amount of contact. That's what's given him the disqualification. So there is confirmation of the disqualification there. Bojan has just had a disqualification. So he is going to go anyway. Bojan is out for disqualification. And again, that's the 30 instant points. And this is what I'll say time and time again. Race 3 is all about managing those instant points. That's how you win championships, and you've got to be so careful. But the championship is massively wide open because Shaw's, I think I've just had another one. Poddy Flack has just had another what did Poddy get a disqualification for? Poddy's been disqualified, so that will now promote Jean Petra and Opalik into first and second. And Poddy, Poddy's had disqualification. So at the moment, there is only 21 drivers left, and you've got to manage it. You've got to manage it. Mike Bullen's going to be into 13th. He's now onto the back of Shaw's User. I said he is. He really isn't. He's holding station. Shaw's User has got past him. And that's the problem with race 3. With so many drivers, you just have to manage that. It has to be managed. And you can't be running off the track either, because that's going to cause you instant points. So Mike Bullen is attacking Shaw's User. Does Simon Trebek finally get past Stu Neal? No, he doesn't, and it'll be because they're managing those incident points. So Stu Neal, you can tell now that Stu Neal and Simon Trebek and Boki all have a high number of incident points, and they are all managing it. They're all managing their incident points. Because that earlier contact, that earlier pushing, that earlier battling is just fizzled out. And because they have to manage it, it's a very tricky skill to do. And it's just tough. It doesn't always mean, it's just a tough skill to have. And it is what it is. But they will cross the line. We're going to leave that battle momentarily because I don't think there's going to be anything in that. As we watch Jean Petra by 6.42 seconds cross the line. George Rallitas is going to go up the inside of Andrea. He gets that done. So Jean Petra takes race 3. I knew he would. I had that feeling. Opalik will come home in second. Butcher will take third. Shuniel will hold 4th. Trebek and Boki will come home 5th and 6th. Nikita will come home 11th. You'll see Ashbourne down 14 will come home 16th. You can't be running out there. You'll end up with a bunch of points. You can't be running out there. George Rallitas will come home 18th. But Derek Neal, solid result there for Carl Smith. Carl Smith finishes 14th. Didn't even see that one coming. Brilliant there for Carl Smith. Kirby is 15th. Great result. As always, there is provisional. Andy Foster will cross the line. There is provisional race results. Poddy Flack takes the fastest lap, but Jean Petra is the winner. Opalik is second, followed by Butcher, Neil Trebek, and Boki. T-Joke didn't even cover T-Joke. He was kind of on his own. Craig Deeks on his own. Alves, Papadim. Nikita is 11th. Shaw's User is 12th. Bullen is 13th. Kirby is 14th. Smith is 14th. Kirby's 15th. Ashbourne down in 16th. Neil is 17th. George Relitas is 18th. Andrea is 19th. JC is 20th. Andy Foster is 21st. Van Skeppen is 22nd. Gilly is DNF. Van Skeppen is DNF. I'm not sure why Van Skeppen's a DNF. Poddy Flack was disqualified. Bojan was disqualified and Nenad was disqualified. So 3 disqualifications for that race. So the championship now is completely blown wide open. And it's blown wide open for the simple fact that, yes, Nenad has had a disqualification. And I suspect there will be multiple chats on this. But, and this is why I always say it's never over until that final race. We'll go across to the voice chat, but
quickly before I talk to Mike, I want to quickly talk about the disqualification. So there was something that came up in the race. It's on all the different screens I've got here, and we talk about disqualifications and we talk about race incident points. So in the Tcsrl, we run 30 incident points. So you can get incident points if you run off the track, if someone punts you too hard, and you get points and they get points. You get lower points you get them for false starts. You get them for corner cutting, and it's tricky. It's a tricky skill to manage, but it's not always necessarily a bad thing. So I know that some of you are saying, "Oh yeah, but couldn't you increase it to 50 or 60?" No, it will never be increased that far because it just turns into absolute carnage. We've seen it in other leagues, and it does. But it's one of the skills in Race 3, and I've said it time and time again for those that have followed me in Season 4 and Season 5 and now Season 6. It's the same 3. To win a championship, you have to manage that Race 3, and it has to be managed. You can't. But if you have a bad race in Race 3, as long as it's towards this part of the season, you can maximise your points for the next event. So I had a couple of things coming up from some people I know, and they said, big shame there for Nenad. They are Nenad supporters, so Nenad, you do have a fan club with people who know me. A big shame there for Nenad, but he's going to benefit next week because he's going to have less ballast. So next week, I'm expecting Nenad to take at least 2 race victories. So, and then he'll be back in the top of the ballast again. So, for you Nenad fans, big high hopes there. I saw my Dutch colleagues from my work actually said, Van Skeppen, they were really upset about Van Skeppen. I hope he is Dutch because I said he was Dutch. I don't know. I have no idea. I can only assume that he had maybe a contact with Shaw's again, and he went, "I'm sorry, I'm going to quit the race." I don't know. It'll all come through, but it is what it is. Race 3 is like that. Right, so Mike Bullen is with us. He's probably out walking his dogs again because he tends to do that after Race 3. Mike, can you hear me, and are you walking the dog?
Yes, and yes.
There we go. Right, talk about yourself first before I talk about some, the other things that happened, because obviously you've run leagues both with this and ACC, so it's always lovely to get your viewpoint on that. But first, Race 3, again, solid result for you. You had looked like you were battling hard and fair, I think, and you really pushing with, I think it was Nikita. Nikita, is that correct? The other Honda. I don't know if you can hear me or you've now gone into a different signal zone.
No, I can hear you, sorry, mate. You got me?
So, yeah, I can hear you now. So, Race 3, yep. It looked like you were having an absolute great battle with the other Honda.
Yeah, that's the guy I had the incident with in Race 2, but it was much cleaner this time, so I was very happy. Is it Crower or something like that?
Nikita. I just called him Nikita.
Yeah. Look, it's it. I'm sure it wasn't malicious in Race 2. Anyway, great battle. We had a lot of fun. But suddenly found pace. I was finally down into the 40s because I'd been in the 50s. So that was good. Great battles. A lot of instant points. It's all about how you manage it, isn't it? But it's just you got to choose your timings for your overtakes and things like that, and you just got to keep your head on. I think it's very easy for the fast guys to lose their head just because they're a second a lap quicker than the drivers around them, and sometimes get a little bit carried away. I've got the luxury of being a fair amount slower than that, so I haven't got that privilege. But I think sometimes that's what happens. But anyway, from my point of view, great race, great result, good racing. I was getting attacked by, is it Smith in the
Carl Smith in the Audi Alfa
Romeo? Yeah. And to be fair to him, I mean this in the nicest possible way, I didn't expect him to be there and be that fast because he's not been that quick when I've raced him before. But that shows, the development. We were talking earlier about the development of the grid and how fast people are, and that shows because when I raced against him last season, I was way quicker than him, and today he was right up my chop. So So I just want to say well done to him because he pushed me the entire race, kept me honest. So
Well, hopefully he's listening and he might join us. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I talk about that as well. Is that we broached on it quickly in between races 2 and 3. It's the grid size is big, but there always seems to be battles everywhere now. It's not just you're not just running. I mean, there are a couple of cars running around on their own, but essentially you're always somewhere in a fight. And I mean, how are you finding that? Because it's good in one way because you've always got something to do, but also it means that if you get stuck in a battle, you can just see that your true pace just slowly egging away. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, totally. Look, when we started this venture way back when, 2022, whenever it was, we were all pretty much on the same pace then because none of us knew much about race room, and the racing was brilliant. And then when we recruited some of the aliens, as we call them, who were just insanely fast, we did have that problem where we had a segregated grid. Now it doesn't matter because no matter how fast or slow you are, you have your pockets and you battle against those pockets. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have come back because that's what keeps it exciting. So I don't care if I'm battling for 21st or first, as long as I'm battling, and that's what keeps racing interesting.
And I think that's the thing in terms of where the grid now is that we've got such a good selection of drivers on different abilities that no matter where you are, you're always busy with somebody, and it's fascinating to be perfectly. I think it's fascinating to be perfectly honest. So
it absolutely is, and look, the key thing is the racing ability, not the speed. So as long as you can race cleanly. And get your moves done and defend cleanly and everything else, then it's fun and it's great to be in. It's when it gets dirty that it's not fun. I'm not accusing anybody of that. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah, and I have to admit,
speed isn't important.
And I have to admit, towards the end of last season, obviously I did bits of commentary, and now I'm doing most of it. I'm not doing next week, but I'm doing the rest of them. Is that the driving? Just the standard is just so much better than I think we've seen, and it's for me it's the little things, it's not the big things. If you know what I mean. That sounds really stupid.
Yeah, absolutely, and it shows the right type of personalities and everything else are being recruited, and it just strengthens the league. And kudos to everybody who's running it because it's going from strength to strength.
It's really good. Right, thank you, Mike. You're welcome to stay on. And add input as always. I nearly fell over into my. I don't know. I fell over into something. So you're welcome to stay on if you want. It's up to yourself, or you can carry on walking your dog. But thank you very much for joining me. Right, I'm going to go across to Stu Neal next. Stu Neal has joined us. He, don't forget, is third in the championship overall driving standards below Nenad by a point. Second in the Pro Series. At the moment, ahead of Nenad. He's fighting Shaw's two-time race winner this last time out, and this time good solid results that he needed. Stu, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Fantastic. Right, first thing I want to talk about is your battle with Trebek. Before I talk about anything else, is the Trebek battle in race 3. Take us through that, because it's the hairpin. Every single time you got to the hairpin, and I mean, were you setting him up knowing that he would outbrake himself every single time? Rebecca will probably send me a message and kill me for this, but it seems almost like you knew what he was doing and you went, carry on, mate, because I'm going to brake a little bit earlier, nip the hairpin, hit the apex and disappear again.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we've just been messaging actually in the chat, and yeah, it was a good old battle. But I knew that although he had the pace because he had no ballast, as long as I could get on the line and I could brake at the right point, and I didn't outbrake myself, then trying to attack into there, unless you've got a load of overspeed to be able to sort of you need to get more than alongside, and then you can block pass if you get what I mean. But he was never at that point, unfortunately. So it was just enough for me to. I think one time I had to go around the outside because he'd made it that time, but
yes,
he'd slowed down so much to get to the inside I could just carry the speed around the outside. So, yeah, he was trying. It was a good battle. And I did think he was going to get me towards the end. I was thinking, oh, we've got another lap of this, and I thought he's going to have me this time. But yeah, very nearly, but not quite. So yeah,
I mean, it was brilliant. And then the other thing, again, looking back to race 2, it was both basically race 1, 2, and 3, I'd say, is that you seem to be the biggest roadblock on the entire field. Is when you actually look at it on stream, if you go back and watch the stream, you'll notice that there's you and about 10 other cars behind you. I mean, did you notice that when you were racing? I mean, take us through that, because you might not have noticed it. You might go on, well, I've got 1 or 2 cars behind me, but on stream there was you were a cork in a very big bottle.
Yeah, no, I obviously carrying almost maximum ballast, it really hampers you. This track especially really hampers you. I mean, sector 1, in practice I was getting purple sector 1s because that's easy to do, but it's sector 2 because you've got that long drag down to the hairpin. So you've got the speed coming into it where people can have you, and then you've got coming onto the brakes because obviously you've got the extra weight, and then you've got accelerating out of that hairpin. So I was losing 0.6 plus to people without ballast, just in that sector alone. So that was where people are going to have me. And certainly it's when you're carrying that much ballast as well, when you're coming into corners, of course, I'm coming in on the inside, and like I know Ross was on the outside a couple of times, and I'm turning in and braking as much as I can, sort of thing, to stay on the inside of the corner, but it just pushes the nose on. So unfortunately, when you're trying to get around the outside, I'm understeering and I'm trying to stay where I am and not slide out, but he was trying to get me around the outside a couple of times, and I was like, oh, I can't turn. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna collide. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. Do you know what I mean? But a couple of times we did collide. But yeah, it wasn't malicious. I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to get through side by side. But it's difficult to do when you've got that much weight. But yeah, I don't think I did anything too bad. Obviously, I was defending like mad. I did look in the mirror. I did see there was more than just Ross behind me. So yeah, I did see there was a train, and I thought if I get this braking wrong on this hairpin, then there's going to be probably about 8 cars come past me.
I mean, we touched on that last week, didn't we? In terms of, we talked about that last week. In terms of that, now you make one mistake, you're not losing. You would have gone to Trebek, Bojan, Nenad, Butcher, Nikita. Oh, well, there was T-Joke was there.
Yeah.
And I think we touched on it before. Is that ballast is a real tricky now. In terms, you're not losing 1 or 2 positions. You're losing, 3 or 4 now, or 5 or 6.
Yeah. So I mean, it works. It works well. I mean, obviously, it's not nice carrying it, but it works well for dropping you into the field. Do you know what I mean? Me and Shaw's are on almost the same ballast. His lap times were just insane, and I'm not keen on Hockenheim anyway. Because I've never been good at that hairpin. Although thankfully tonight I was. But yeah, it is a nightmare now. With you can't expect to be, unless you get lucky, like with the spin. Can't really expect to be on the podium when you're maximum ballast. There's no chance. You've just got to try and keep out of trouble. And funnily enough, race 1, I had 21 incident points in race 1, which was crazy. And whereas race 2 and race 3, I only had 15. So. Normally, race 3 is the one where you get all.
Yes, yeah.
Like last time, I was on 27. So, it's the second 2 races weren't as bad as the first for some strange reason. But yeah.
But I mean, it puts you in good standing in the championship for both the overall and the Pro Series for overall. But Nenad obviously had that disqualification in race 3. But now that releases the ballast from him.
Yeah. That's obviously it's gapped us a bit in the championship, but yeah, as you say, it's going to take a bit of ballast off. And he's ridiculously fast as it is, even with ballast. So
yes, yeah, there is that.
Yeah, there's no slowing him down. So he'll probably be on for a couple of race wins or something next week. But yeah, me and Shaw's have already worked it out. I think I gained 3 points on him, so he's still leading. Yeah, I think I got. Providing I don't get any penalty points, I would have got 31, I think, and he got 27, 28.
So you've got a 3 gap on 28. And I think it'll be Nenad will be third. Basically, I've just got to swap 2 pictures round.
Probably, yeah.
I think is what I've got to do. But then I suspect, like I said, next week Nenad's. I put my money on Nenad for 2 race victories.
Yes,
That's where my money would be going. And I know it sounds weird and unusual, but that's how it is. That's what I'm. Well, I say that, but then Bojan popped up and put 2 victories in. But then he was fast last week. He just had a disconnect.
Yes,
and it hampered.
Oh yeah, that was the only thing that gifted me those wins last week.
No, it was skill. Leave it at that.
Yeah, there was a little bit of skill involved, but yeah, he was unballasted last week. So yeah, if he hadn't have had that disconnect, I think I'd have struggled to compete with him on there. So yeah,
but it's exciting. I think it's really, really exciting, to be honest. So again, next week, obviously I'm not commentating next week, so there won't be anything there for me to talk about. But what's your plan? Hopes for next? Is it just a case now? Because again, I think you're going to be carrying 63 kilos on board, and you've got 56 now.
No, I've got 63.
Oh, 63. So you'll still have 63.
Provided there's no other goings on, yes.
So is that going to be a case that I think you're going to? Are you just got to make the best
just
most
manage
of it?
it. Yeah, it's just manage it. That's all you can do is just try and. I didn't have a great quality. I mean, I didn't have a bad quality, but I didn't have a great quality. I could have got another couple of tenths, which would have put me up another couple of places. But I made them up in the race, so it wasn't so bad because I think I started 12th or something, but I finished 7th. I think.
I don't know. I closed the screen down. Sorry.
Yeah. No. It doesn't matter. Like I said, so I made up for my bad quality, but it would have been. That's probably where I got the incident points from. It's just trying to find a way through. But yeah, it's just trying to manage it basically. Just.
And I think we touched on this last week when I was talking about it before. Is that the incident points? It's like them or agree with them or disagree with them. They exist. That they're there. They're 30. We all have to play for them. But from a spectator point of view, I really enjoy. I mean, you probably hate them as a driver, but from a spectator point of view, it's another thing you've got to manage.
Yeah.
And you can see it as well because people slow down after they get towards the limit. They go, better not do that. Yeah. I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Perfectly. I think it should stay as is. I don't think there's any discussions whether it will be removed or not. Hopefully it never does get removed. But again, in that race 3, you broached on it 15 incident points. Did you think at that point you were concerned Trebek? Because one couple of big impacts from Trebek, and that'd be the end of it. Or you instancing, touching Trebek. That sounds so wrong.
Yeah, we won't go there.
We won't go there. But you know what I mean?
No, totally. But I've raced with Trebek in several championships and whatever, so I know we can race cleanly together and side by side without too much issues. So I didn't expect that unless obviously you made a mistake. But I knew that it with 15 I was fairly safe at that point in the race anyway. Yeah. So a couple of whacks, I think you get 4 points for a whack anyway. So a couple of whacks I'd have got away with, and then I'd have been thinking, now I'm in trouble if I get another one. So yeah, it's. Like you say, the penalty points, the incident points, everyone's got the same. Everyone's got to deal with them. It used to be better how you used to be able to shave them off, because it's like I said last week. If you had a tenth to shave off, you could probably shave it off just about a tenth, and that would be it. Whereas now, if you've got a tenth, it more likely costs you about 4 tenths to get rid of.
Yeah, Mike said that as well. That's what Mike. I don't know if you.
They changed it at some point. I can't remember when it was. It was about a year ago or something or other. They changed the way that you get rid of them, and it takes longer now to get rid of them.
I wonder if they did it specifically because people had cottoned on that you could just lift off and it would go away. So it wasn't really. It wasn't encouraging you to be better.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
It was probably. You would have to give back what it thought you gained before and not punish you, if you get what I mean. So
yes.
If you gained a tenth, you give back a tenth, and that was it. Whereas now, like you say, if you gain a tenth, it makes you give back 4. which it kind of makes you think, well, yeah, I don't really want to be doing that. But it's not as easy as, I don't want to get incident points, I'll try not to get track limits, because you just pick them up.
Because you're pushing and you're pushing and you're pushing.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
But again, it's one of those things. Everybody's in the same boat. It's one of those really, and I think it's brilliant. I think it encourages better driving, and I think so far this season the driving has been, I think it's been absolutely sensational, to be perfectly honest. But that's just me. Everyone might think different, but it's been really good. Thank you very much, Stu. Again, really well done on your finishing positions this time out. Obviously, closing the gap to Shaw's, that's going to be interesting. I won't see next week, which is a shame, so I'll have to catch you, will be the following week, I suspect. But it'll be easy to move the pictures around. So, because you will gain in the overall driving standard championship, because Nenad's second in that for some reason, but
I think it's to do with if someone in a pro-am or something or other finishes above, and they get different points.
I don't know. I just
steal.
There you go. Russ will know because he does the points.
The points in the drivers in the pro-am and the am series is based on your class finishing position. So it doesn't matter if someone finishes in 10th and you finish in 15th. If you are still second in your class, you will still score 17 points for the class position.
Yeah, so that's why they're offset.
There we go. But like I said, all I have to do now in the Drivers' Championship is move you and Nenad the other way round. So it's easier for me. I go, I'll just move that picture there and move that picture there. Done. In the other two, in the Pro-Am and the Am, I've got no idea. That's blown wide open.
Yeah.
That's completely different. So really well done, Stu. Again, thanks for joining me.
Cheers.
Who are always welcome in the commentary box. Right, I'm going to go across to Russ. Finally, Russ is the last driver we've got with us. Stu, you are welcome to stay if you so choose, and obviously join in if you need to. Knock yourself out, not literally. Russ, nice to join us. You didn't join us last week, did you? No, you didn't join me last week.
No, very good.
That's all right. So again, take us through your races. You had two very eventful races, and then a DNF in race 3.
Race 2, no, game crashed in race 2 with about a lap and a half to go.
That's what it was.
Which was a bit annoying, but never mind.
But
yeah, the other 2 races were all right. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been a bit strange tonight. We've had a few people saying about slow frames per second, and I don't know what happened to Poddy, but Poddy didn't finish race 3 either, and he was
disqualification.
Oh, did he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was flying along at one point.
Yeah, on the board it came up as a DQ.
Okay, all right. I thought he'd had a game crash as well, but
so I saw it might be different in the logs, but when I saw, because I was what Poddy was in race 3, the man was on fire. He was absolutely flying. It's just like he turned up and went, well, I'm just going to drive around like no one was there. And then obviously I think he had a couple of instant points, as you do. And then I think on the board, I saw about 2 flash ups on yellows. So he'd obviously gone out of the sector, as in the game had gone, and then on the second flash, he DQ'd immediately.
Okay.
So I don't know, but again, it is one of those things you'd have to look at the game logs to have a look. But real shame for him. But again, that's the way these things happen. But for yourself, a real shame for race 2. But race 1 and 3, again, you know, and I go back to, I've said this to Stu before, is that you seem to have really, you've really seemed to have found a rhythm in the way that you're driving now. Is that you're attacking when you need to attack. I think I've said this to you before, and you're, defending enough, but you go, I'm not racing those, so I'm leaving them alone.
Yeah, you kind of know when people are quicker than you, and like you say, to try and defend from them all the time, you just end up slowing yourself down and getting more and more cars stuck up behind you, which then gives you more incident points, and then you get disqualified. So there's no point fighting at certain times just to avoid incident points and getting disqualified, because finishing's always better than not finishing. So
yes.
Yeah, even if you lose a place or 2 places, it'll be better. Same in race 2, as Stu was alluding to. I tried 4 or 5 or 6 times to try and get past him, and then it just kept getting instant points, and at that point I was at 20. I think I was at 25, So then I backed out, had to let Obradovic and John Petra go. Then John Petra went off the road. So I was just going to sit where I was. I think it was 8th or 9th place. I was just going to sit there and take that position, really. And then the game crashed, so... But never mind.
It's one of those things, though, isn't it?
It is. It's happened to other people, and it's pure pot luck. So it would just be the same as your engine blowing up or getting a puncture. Do you know what I mean? It's unfortunate, but
it's a real shame. But I think that's, like you said. I mean, it happens all the time. It just does. It's one of those things. But again, go back to race 1 and race 2. I mean, take us through that, because again, you're mid pack at the moment, But as I spoke to Mike and Stu about before, the mid pack, it's tight, that mid pack. You've got 4, 5, 6 drivers around you, and take us through that, because again, you spent a lot of your time looking at the back of Stu Neal, his car, and
side,
the other side. I suppose you didn't see the roof, but take us through that, because you've got a whole hope of drivers behind you. And I think at one point it was from 5th to 14th was in the same camera shot.
Was it? Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
wasn't
concentrating
concentrating on
race,
that.
it was in the most camera shot.
The only people I was concentrating on was the person immediately in front of me and immediately behind us. And as long as I was trying to get alongside Stu and not allowing Boki alongside me, I was all right. But yeah, it's just hard work, There's no one's a fool and everyone's quick. So it's very hard to try and make passes, even when people have got ballast on. The Renault's got ballast on as well. It's not very quick in a straight line.
But it is.
Yeah.
Are you finding, because when Cast Our Minds back, and again, I always go back to the different race series that I've commentated on, and the other, because I do watch different leagues as well.
Yeah.
But it seems at the moment that everyone just seems to be in this really nice status quo. In the fact that you can race in a very tight pack. Yes, I know there's disqualifications, and I understand that, but are you feeling that as well as a driver? And again, this is to Stu as well. Are you finding that you have confidence with the people around you, that they're not just going to stove it up the inside for some silly funds?
Yeah, because like you say, everyone's playing by the same rules. Everyone's got 30 instant points to play with, and you've got to play with them correctly, otherwise you're not going to finish. So yeah, I think everyone does there just has to be a sort of a measured approach to attacking somebody. You can't literally just throw it down the inside, barge your way through, and that'll be alright, because that could be 4 instant points, could be 8, depending on the contact. So yeah, you do have to sort of figure out a plan to try and overtake somebody, try and get them on the defensive, and then be able to make you move.
I mean, is that the same for you as well, Stu?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, sometimes you can line people up because you can kind of guess what they're going to do, depending on where you are, what the corner coming up is, what the corner after that is, for instance, as well, and think, right, if I do this or get him to do that, then that'll put me in this position there, and then I can take him. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes... Depending on like I say, depends on who it is, depends on what corner it is and what track it is. There's a lot of depends on. So it's not always a given. Do you know what I mean? It's not always easy. And some tracks, you've just got to sit there behind people and wait for them to make a mistake, because you literally cannot pass unless they make a mistake. And again, some people make more mistakes than others. So again, you can kind of think, oh, I'll be able to get him. Or if I just show my nose here or something or other, he might brake that little bit later and go wide, and then I'll just go through. So yeah, it's a little bit of mind games and a little bit of preempting what people are going to do or not do.
But it makes it exciting. So sorry to interrupt, but Poddy has just posted track limits. That's what killed him.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I was in the chat with him, and he said that he hadn't even realised his incident points were that high. I think he picked up a couple as he was coming through.
Real shame.
And then where he was obviously trying to go so fast. I think it's that turn 1. I picked up a few on that turn 1 as well. It's so easy to just get that wrong and run out wide.
Just a shame. Yeah. I think it's a real shame. Like I said, is that, and I said it in commentary, and I said it, recently, and I say it again. In race 3, the man was possessed. He was possessed. But it's race 3. That's what it is. Unfortunately, it's one of those. Any final words for the evening? I've got to leave it there. I'm actually 20 minutes over over my actual curfew. Is there anything you want to add? Anything you want to say? Obviously, keep it clean, as always, guys.
No, that's it from me, mate, I think.
Okay. Well...
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Well, thank you very much. One final thing before I leave, because it's the thing I've been talking about all day, if I'm honest. Have you seen the Race Ring trailer? I will leave in about 5 minutes.
Oh, yes, I have.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
Have you seen the freeze frame that's got the Super Tourers in it? This actually now appears twice. I rewatched it between the races. I actually went quiet for a little bit. You'll hear it in commentary. I'm actually rewatching it, and they've got the other Audi from the American series from '97 in it.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
It appears twice. So all I'm saying is, if there is Super Tourers, maybe we could run Super Tourers and everyone could drive the Volvo. I'm just saying, because I love the Volvo. You know, this is why I don't run championships, because whoever ran the Volvo would just win. That would be the end of it. Like, they win.
You'd just force everyone into them, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know.
That's the only car you can use.
So you have to. It must be a
One
Volvo
makes
only
series.
championship. But any thoughts on that at all, or have you not really thought about it or watched it, or?
No, I've seen the trailer, obviously, and it's any new cars of that ilk. I mean, I when they released the ones with the Alpha and that in, I can't remember what the old DTM ones, the Alpha and that, yeah, because
it was the Alpha Calibre and the Mercedes, Alpha and the Calibre and the Mercedes.
That's it, yeah, because I did, before I got into Race Room, I did a championship with, I can't remember even who it was with now, but on Assetto Corsa on one of the mods, and they had those Alphas in them. The noise they make is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So I love driving them. So I downloaded that straight away and had a little go in one, and they're just as good on Race Room. So yeah, I'd like to have a go in a championship in them as well.
All I'm saying, Russ, is next season maybe we could do Super Tourers if there's enough of them. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
Maybe. Super Tours versus DTM.
DTM would win.
Yes, true. Four-wheel drive.
DTM would just win, and that's it. But
and then I do Super Tourers with a mix of front and rear-wheel drive cars. That would be fantastic.
That'd be fun. And then I can go, it's Volvo, Peugeot. I can be Murray Walker all over again. Right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. And just before I go, Poddy did confirm it was all turn one. He basically racked them up on all turn one. Thank you, Poddy, for confirming that. Right. Thank you guys for joining. As always, thank you for the commentary. Thank you for the racing, as always. So enjoy the rest of your week.
Lovely. Cheers, Andy. Thanks.
Cheers, guys. So, as always, as I always say, there's multiple different incidents that happen. There's multiple different talking points through the whole event. There is going to be some interesting racing next week. I am not here, unfortunately. I don't think there will be any commentary, so we will miss that. But I will catch you up over the week after. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to my channel. You can follow all the TCRSL League on my channel, which is really good. If you've not been on the Discord, get on the Discord. We aren't accepting any more entries. There is a massive backlog of reserves at the moment. There is 32 maximum, and I think the reserves I've seen is about 20-ish. The reserve is massive, so it's turning into a good league. Range of abilities in here as well, so it's brilliant. So thank you everybody for watching. Enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy the rest of your weeks, and I will see you in 2 weeks for the TCRSL. Good night.